Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Ariel Helwani Show!
Back in your life on this Wednesday, February 5th, 2025. Hello again, everyone. I sure hope you're doing well. It's great to have you here on this frigid Wednesday in New York City. We are inching closer to the spring season. Can't wait for that. The action, though, it's getting hot. It's getting hot in here. So, I don't want to say the rest because then...
Finish it.
No, because then I'm going to get, reported HR, uncrowned HR, a lot of complaints as of late. I'm not going to say because of who, and I'm not going to point any fingers, but I just don't want to go there, okay, Frank?
Who, me?
Yeah. Oh, I got my Who Me water bottle right here. Yeah, shout out. You can get it, by the way, right now over at arielhelwani.com. Yeah. We love Wednesdays around these parts. We answer your questions on the nose. I think there's going to be a lot of spicy ones today, Frank, so I'm looking forward to them. We will do that for the first 40 or so minutes. And then we'll talk to Vinicius LokDog, not LokDog, LokDog Oliveira, the pride of Porto Alegre, Brazil. Had a great win this past weekend against Said Nurmagomedov over in Saudi Arabia. Was in all kinds of pain afterwards. Said that he was oh so close to pulling out of the fight due to a rib injury. He did not pull out of the fight. He won in an impressive fashion. Once again, he remains undefeated in the UFC. He's a very fun fighter in the cage, outside of the cage, on the microphone. Our first time speaking to LokDog. I think it will be a fun one. So that's coming up at around 1:40. Now, at 2 o'clock, we're going to have another one of these face-to-faces. We have become the home of face-to-faces, and we have become the home in particular of the boxing face-to-faces because they get it. They understand. There's intrigue. There's excitement. There's spiciness. There's tension. There's a rivalry. There's a feud. And we have that probably better than any that we've done so far. At 2 o'clock, we'll have Mikaela Mayer, Olympian, current WBO welterweight champion, won that title against Sandy Ryan back in September here in New York City. But that is not the story. That is really not the story. And by the way, they'll be fighting in late March. They'll be running it back in an immediate rematch fight that should be incredible. Their first fight back in September here in New York City at the theater right next to Madison Square Garden was one of the top 5 best fights of the year. Certainly top 2 best women's fights of the year, underneath, of course, Katie Taylor versus Amanda Serrano. But if you are unfamiliar with the rivalry here, in short, and we'll really get into it, and I can't wait to do so with the two of them. And by the way, should it be face-off? Should it be face-to-face? I don't know. We need to coin some sort of term, some sort of phrase, because, like I said, we're becoming the home of these, and dare I say, no show does them better. And that has nothing to do with me. The production, the live element, all that stuff, it's just perfect for these things. And so you're seeing multiple promoters come to us and say, we want to do this, not on our channels, not on our platforms, on yours. Unbiased, down the middle, no skin in the game, no favorites, tough questions for both sides. Now, back in September, they had this great fight, but the fight wasn't the whole story. The buildup was a big part of the story. The two of them, they used to be kind of pals. They trained together. They sparred on the amateur circuit. They were, they were friendly. There they are. Better days. Mayer a little bit older there in that picture, but you can see all smiles. Of course, they end up fighting each other. But how do we get to that point? Well, Mikaela Mayer jumps up to 147. Sandy Ryan is the champ there. They have this fight in New York. There's a ton of bad blood because Mikaela Mayer's trainer starts training Sandy Ryan. Mikaela Mayer gets very upset about this. She makes the decision to part ways with the trainer. After she makes that decision, she says, all right, now I want this fight. I was betrayed. I was blindsided. We get to fight week, a ton of bad blood. They have a face-off. There's a middle finger or two thrown. It was shades of Nick Diaz and Frank Shamrock from back in the day. The face-off was very tense. It was very spicy. Then, there it is. Look at this. Bang. The double bird. Sandy calls her a trashy woman. Then on fight week, Sandy's team starts posting photos from around New York, close to the hotel that they were staying, of these flyers that were posted everywhere with this on it. Sandy Ryan. Now it says the whore home. I think what it said was the whore home wrecker. Not really sure what that's about, but these were everywhere, all over the place. Look at this. Someone posted these all over the streets of New York around where they were staying. Okay, then we get to the weigh-ins and everything's good. And then we get to fight night. And Sandy Ryan is leaving her. I've never seen this before. I said it was like a scene at a WCW Thunder. Sandy Ryan is leaving her hotel, the Pride of Derby, representing England, the champ, leaving her hotel to go to the theater, and she gets doused with paint in a drive-by. This is legit. She walks out of the hotel. Someone runs out of a car with a can of paint and tosses it on her. There she is. Craziness. Look at that. Nike's ruined. Has to go upstairs. Back inside. To shower. You're mentally ready. You're about to go fight. You're leaving the hotel to go to war, to defend your title. There's bad blood. There's posters up on the street. She goes to the fight. Her coach, Kay, says, no, we shouldn't fight. We should pull out now. She decides not to. She's very emotional. She ends up losing a very close fight. She loses her title. Afterwards, Mikaela says, nah, I don't know if I want to run this back. Well, they're running it back in March at the Fontainebleau, or as Americans like to say, the Fountain Blue in Las Vegas. And so we're going to have both of them on at the same time. They haven't done this, obviously, since their last fight in September, and I think this is going to get very tense. And look at the poster. They announced the fight officially last week. There you have it, March 29th at the Fontainebleau in Las Vegas, and look at the paint. They're leaning all the way in. That's a fantastic. We need to remember this poster come December. That's a fantastic poster. Well done to the top-ranked team. Following that interview, we'll have Jasmine
Jasudavicius.
Yeah, the Pride of Canada, who is on some kind of roll these days. She had a big win. First UFC women's fight in Saudi Arabia. She beat Mayra Bueno Silva. She continues to roll. Will she get a big fight in Montreal later this year? We'll talk to Jasmine about that. We always love talking to Jasmine. She's a great chat, and honestly, you can make a strong case that right now she is flying the flag highest, this flag, in the sport of MMA. This thing right here. The proud sovereign country of Canada, not the 51st state, as I know, some members of the team would like them to turn into the 51st state. No, the red and white. I saw, I think it was Jonathan Marchessault of the Nashville Predators asked about all the booing lately of the national anthems, and I thought he put it perfectly. He said, you know what, people need to put, the national anthem is not political. People need to put politics, feelings, news items aside. The national anthem is really about those who fought for the flag, the veterans, those who sacrificed the most for this flag, People need to remember that. And I thought that was a perfect response to all this meshugas going on in the world. Time now, though, for everyone's favorite segment of the week. It is time. There's a lot. There's a lot. What's going on back there? Who said it was sponsored? Is it sponsored? Are we getting sponsored here?
No. How did that come through air though?
Frank, yeah,
Frank, don't do
sponsored by no one. But what were you saying?
We were not saying anything.
I heard the word sponsored.
They're always
nothing is sponsored.
I literally heard the word sponsored.
We said sponsored.
We said sponsored. Nothing is sponsored.
Is it sponsored? Is it in the works?
It is not.
I have a good friend named Johnny. Love this man. He's a pastor over in NorCal, and he actually sent me a song that he made. This is an ad read song.
Oh.
Yeah. He sent me a song that he made for On the Nose because he said something has been missing. We went from snazzy tune, lyrics, voiceover, Mike Heck, all this and that, camera angles changing to just like, okay.
Where's the song?
Yeah, well, I mean, I didn't get it cleared by legal. It came through just this morning.
Oh, if he made it, then we got it.
Are you implying that legal's not super fast?
No, you're implying that.
Oh.
Of course, it is also UFC 312 fight week. A lot of comings and goings, and it's fun because they're down under. They're in Sydney. And you kind of just wake up to all this news. Everything is happening in the middle of the night. So, you wake up to Sean Strickland, just being Sean Strickland. Let me tell you something, you guys. No one enjoys these media days more than Sean Strickland, where he does the you guys bit, and he just he acts the part of the loose cannon, or he'll just spar with a fan. Like, no one enjoys this more. He acts like he doesn't enjoy it. He loves this. He relishes this. This is the one from
293.
A few months back. Yeah,
I actually think it's the same guy.
Wow, good shout.
They look really similar.
But you know what I mean? Like he loves the you guys thing. You guys, someone give me some spicy questions. Let me say something controversial here. Let me talk about Hamza. Let me talk about Saudi Arabia. Let me talk about Bryce Mitchell. He wants no questions about the fight. He just wants to hold court. And then, as I said back in Toronto, he wants you to clip it off. And he wants to be known as this loose cannon because he actually said yesterday, clip that off and post it. Like, he wants this. And by the way, there's nothing really wrong with that, but like it's just amazing every time he acts like he doesn't want this, but he really does want it. You guys, let me tell you something, all right? Look at my mustache right now, and let me try to make you as uncomfortable as possible right now, all right? Let me just wax poetic here. Anyway, maybe there'll be a question or two about Big Sean. Let's get into it, shall we?
Let's do it.
All right.
Big Sean the rapper?
No. Lex, hi, Ariel. There was some rumors that KSI's first opponent before Wayne Bridge was supposed to be Nate Diaz, but he pulled out. Do you know anything about this? Thanks. Were they talking? Yes. Did he pull out? I don't think that's accurate. Could it still happen? Yes. Was I surprised to hear it? Yes. Would I be surprised to see it come to fruition? To a degree, yes. This is very much not Nate Diaz. The Jake Paul fight was one thing, but then now you're fully down a whole different path. And I didn't think he would go down that path. Now there is money to be made, and you could say, okay, money to be made against lesser fighters, if you will. But there is a part of me that was surprised when I heard it was being discussed, and then ultimately when it didn't come to fruition, I thought, yeah, that's more like it. That's what I thought. So who knows? Maybe after the Danis fight, there's a rekindling of that idea. I have to say, I don't know if I'm surprised. I don't think I am surprised, but I did notice. I don't think there's much of an appetite for this KSI Danis fight at the moment. I saw a lot more negativity than maybe when the Danis Logan fight was announced, and maybe it's because of the Logan fight. Did you guys notice the same? I saw a lot of rolling of the eyes.
It's 100% because of the Logan fight.
Yeah.
The pre-build up to that had no visual of Dylan Dennis in a boxing ring. It was all still a mystery. Then we saw it, and now it's kind of evaporated.
And by the way, as expected, getting personal off the bat.
Yeah.
But that even still doesn't hit quite the same because he did that and the fight was what it was. And so it's like, okay, this is all nothing.
Right. You know that even if it gets personal, the performance will not match the animosity.
Exactly.
Yes.
When the bark before the fight.
The illusion is gone. The mystique is gone. The mystery is gone. Now we just know we're getting not a good boxer against and also probably not that great a boxer.
Can he shock us?
Which one would be shocking? I'm not sure what the shocking outcome is.
If
it was a good fight, I'd be shocked.
Yeah.
If he puts out KSI?
I guess I'd be shocked, but he's not.
I'd be kind of shocked.
I'd be shocked.
If he wins, that's a shock, right? Even if it's KSI?
No,
it's not a shock?
Neither.
Well, based on his first performance was so bad, it was awful. It was awful.
Yeah.
So I suppose it would be a shock to some degree, but
is KSI a boxer you rate though, Pizzi? Would you be is KSI the guy you go oh, if he beat him, I don't know.
No, but I feel like it's been signed because of the tumultuous kind of build-ups he brings to it. And look, that's what the influencer market's about to a large degree, how much noise you can make. And Dylan can certainly prove he could make a lot of noise outside of the ring if he was pretty silent in the ring that night, So I think, honestly, if you were why do you think he signed for this fight. It wasn't because KS was like, who's going to challenge me here? It's like, who can put the most asses in seats, who can cause the most chaos, and that's why he put Dennison there. As a sporting contest, I mean, who?
But before he was thinking Wayne Bridge.
Yeah, I don't even know.
Well, Wayne Bridge is a controversial figure. He's
so that would put asses in seats. I'm obviously not familiar with Wayne Bridge's games.
Well, everything it was this. I don't want to go in on Wayne Bridge because he's had enough shit. But it was that whole situation: John Terry and his wife, and then his, the England team.
It was sounds like Wayne Bridge versus Dylan Dennis is the fight to make.
Yeah, well, I mean,
golly, Lord help us.
Again, it was a controversy. Like we saw from the jump there, that's what KSI was going to sell it on. I'm going to talk all this shit about Wayne Bridge and John Terry being with his missus, and then Wayne Bridge was like, "Oh well, I thought I was boxing this dude."
I'm out.
Okay, that's enough
we were
of that.
Boxing. Yeah.
Craig, hi Ariel and crew. In this past week alone, we've seen Connor tweet racist abuse and the N-word, allegedly spit in somebody's face and send religious abuse to an Irish fighter who turned Muslim. My question is an echo of Petey's question last week. Why is nobody stepping in to say something here? Are we simply seeing the excesses of substance abuse, or are we seeing the uncovering of something that's always been there that people didn't want to see? All the best, Craig. I'm wondering, when he says, why is nobody stepping in? Does he mean from his own team? Does he mean
that's what I said? Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like,
well, to be fair to his team, like, who knows who's stepping in? Like, we don't know. Like, if someone trying to stop him, if someone's trying to plan an intervention, if someone's trying to speak to him and he's not listening, like, we don't know that. Clearly nothing's changing. Clearly nothing's getting better. But we don't know if anyone's trying to or not, right? I mean, that's a fair thing to say to his team, right, PT? How can we say why is no one? We're not in those conversations.
I think that needs to happen, though. But
how do we know that it's not happening?
Well, he doesn't seem to be reacting to any situation.
But that's two different things. Someone could be doing it, and he could not be reacting. That doesn't mean they're not trying to. I don't know if they are or they aren't. But I can't answer. I can't say matter of factly that no one's trying to. I'm not speaking to his partner, to his parents, you know what I mean? But the point is, whether someone is trying to or not, ultimately it doesn't really matter. The end result is the end result, and it's these situations that are not good, that are offensive, that are going to get him into further trouble. You potentially spit in someone's face, they clock you. That's not a good thing. You know what I mean? So
we also have to acknowledge, like, even if somebody is trying to step in, let's say, right, we were creating a scenario. When somebody is as famous and as powerful as Conor McGregor, most of the time they're incentivized to have people who will not step in around them. Because if you do, they'll say, okay, I'm done with you. You're not around me any longer.
Oh, it's not easy.
And
it's not easy.
Your meal ticket is gone. So it's a very difficult thing for somebody to step in willing to say, I'm willing to end this relationship or sever this or severely damage this relationship at the benefit of the person involved. So it's a tricky, dicey kind of situation. I imagine there's probably people on his team and elsewhere who are like, yeah, we probably shouldn't be doing this, but what can they actually do? It's kind of a powerless scenario. There will have to be a point where he will have to make a decision that this is not how he wants to proceed going forward.
Jack, what's the crack, lads? I need some advice. After having followed MMA for many years, I've never been to a UFC event until now. Me and a few friends have managed to get tickets to the upcoming UFC London card. What advice can you guys give me ahead of my first UFC? I've been to some smaller Bellator and PFL cards, but that's about it. And then there's something specific for PT here, but I'll save that for a moment. I mean, no advice, just take it all in. Go to the weigh-ins, go to the presser if there is one, be there for the first fight, don't miss anything, and just have a blast. There's not much else to it. And you will for sure have a blast. Specifically for PT, any chance we can borrow one of your private limos to take us to Dublin Airport ahead of UFC London?
Oh, I think it's being used that week, mate, unfortunately. But another bit of advice for the fight week, get tickets to the Cage Warriors card on the Friday there. It's usually a good one. And a lot of those guys end up on the UFC London card in a couple of years' time. So you can say you were there when all of the media didn't know who X was, etc. It's always been a card. The promotion that feeds into those UFC London cards, the card is full with Cage Warriors veterans, so that's always a good one to go to.
Irish lad, hello to all. Some over-unders for the crew. Oh, I love these. How many fights for the following in 2025? All right, 1.5 for Tommy Aspinall.
Under.
Ooh,
Yeah, I'm going under.
under, yeah.
1.5 for Ilya Taporia.
Under.
You know, if he gets an April, he could get a December.
I say over.
I'm taking the under.
I'll go
2 for Taporia.
I'll go 2.
I'm taking under.
And what about Aspinall for you, Connor? I didn't hear you.
I'm gonna say over as well.
Wow.
Whoa. What are the 2 fights for Tom Aspinall?
June, July. I said this on the prediction show. June, July.
Oh,
we
yeah.
fight John
All right,
Jones.
not happening.
MSG,
All right.
main event.
No chance June.
No
John
chance.
Jones. But
July?
well, okay. I guess if International Fight Week is June, right.
But Dana's kind of set the deadline for when things can be ironed out to summer now. So that would say to me that if the fight was going to happen, it's going to be a November, December situation.
Yeah, that's what I think.
All right. Conor McGregor 0.5.
Under.
Now, is he talking about any fight or UFC fight?
That's fair.
Under.
Under.
I think under period.
Yeah, under. We're all under.
I'll go over, but if only if it's any fight. If it's some sort of
Under.
like
Any fight.
Khamzat 1.5.
No, hell no, under.
1.
Jesus.
Under.
The one. If
It's
you
like
could take a
Christmas
1
now.
exacta, I think that's a lot.
Yeah, let's bet on
He
that
fights
one.
for the belt.
By the way, bigger fight now. Khamzat Sean or Khamzat Drickus?
Hamzat Drickus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no like Sean versus Hamzat like I get that he had some comments at the thing, but
Yeah.
like he would have said that if he was potentially going to fight Hamzat or not. Like he was just looking, to your point, he's just looking to say stuff at any given moment.
Yeah.
Drickus is really building like a middleweight legacy right now. People are really starting to get behind him and talk about him in rarefied air. That would be a much more significant win. And I think more people would care.
Yeah. Alex Pereira 2.5.
Under.
Oof.
I think we do 2
these
this year.
Yeah.
2.
Under.
Yeah.
March and September.
Under.
Bonus question, and this is just for the boys in the back. How many new beefs will Ariel have in 2025? 3.5.
Now, does PT get included in this? We've had some dangerous territory.
What, me and PT having a beef?
No.
Is he
That
included
one
In
already?
the boys in the back, I'm saying. How many new beefs? What was the line?
3.5.
3.5.
For the
Oh,
entire
come
year
on.
of 2025?
We're already in February. There's no new beefs.
That's an easy under. There are
no new beefs, yeah?
This is
Roch in 2025?
No, it was last year.
this is peace and love, Helwani. Peace and love. Peace and love. Peace and love.
Over
Under.
every time.
Under.
It's
Oh,
so exaggerated,
4?
this
Come
beef
on.
thing.
I
That could
think
be
I'll
1
take
week.
the over too.
Wow.
All right.
All right. There's 2 right there. PT and GC.
But like, I mean,
Helwani.
Helwani doesn't even come looking for the smoke. It comes looking for him.
It does.
And he's forced to retaliate. So I mean,
I couldn't
4.
agree more.
Don't
at least
start no
4.
stuff. Won't be no stuff.
Good to see you.
Yeah, that's right.
I'll take the under.
This is from Ryder. What's up, Ariel and crew? Getting away from the likely Ask Bryce Mitchell and Conor McGregor questions, do you have any update on 314 in Miami? Tapology has Pantoja versus Cara France on there. Is that a possibility? Honestly, I haven't checked in. I did hear some early talk of Taporia, but haven't checked in. I did see a report today regarding Michael Chandler versus Arman, but I'll say I reached out to both teams. I heard from one that said it wasn't true. I also saw Michael Chiesa say that it was fake news. Don't hate that idea. I still think Arman should be next. But I checked in. We got to be careful here. I checked in on that one, and there was a Robert Whitaker one that came out recently, the Caio Bohalio. And I checked in on that one, and they said not true. So I don't know what's going on. Let's see. But that one is coming up in April, and they usually have brought big fights. Taporia in Miami would make a lot of sense, in my opinion. If they're not doing it in Spain, that would make a ton of sense. James Portland, hola Ariel. Any chance of getting Chris Van Vliet on the show and or you appearing on his podcast? I have appeared on his podcast, and he's a great guy, and he's been putting out some incredible wrestling interviews. He really goes the extra mile. He does them all in person. The production value is great. Big fan, and wish him continued success. So I've been on once before, and yeah, who knows? Perhaps there shall be more. Matmo, sup Ariel? Just wanted to say congrats to PT for making the post-show credits. What's the meaning behind the Swiss Army knife title? And shout out to Top Dog Rick.
That means I can do it all.
Yeah.
You know, whatever the job may be,
I agree.
I shall find an instrument to do it with.
Jordan's
My mind.
been messing around with the credits lately.
I think it's nice. It's a little Easter egg. for
Pizzi
the
being in the
hardcores.
post show is an odd one. I gotta be honest.
Was I not on the post show?
Just
Well, this one you are, yeah.
Wait, no, I think he's referring to like the actual post-show credits, not the post-show itself.
Oh, he's
sorry,
talking about
sorry.
this
Post-show
show.
credits to the Ariel Helwani Show.
Oh no, take me off, Rick. No, by all means. Like, if you don't feel I should be here, just take me off the fucking thing. That's
Pizzi,
fine.
we do a lot of post shows.
No,
There was
George,
one.
take me off the fucking thing. If Rick's so offended by my presence, take it fucking off. My people fought for the right to be in those credits, but if you don't think I'm good enough, fucking take me off. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, I've been completely shamed. Apologies to Pizzi and the nation of Ireland. Like everybody who is Irish in ancestry, I've offended, and I apologize.
There it is. Yeah.
I'll accept the apology.
As the top dog, I am top dog. Jordan, I forget. Is that right? Top dog. I reinstate Pizzi into the credits. I have removed him, and then I have
thanks so much.
temporarily, and now he is back in.
Jesse, does the UFC hold some responsibility for the decline of McGregor's image slash reputation, given that they did a poor job of giving him fights and also renewing his contract dating back to 2019 when it was obvious through social media that he wanted to get back to fighting regardless of opponent offered? Look, there is truth to the fact that I remember he was freaking out. I remember the Amanda Nunes fight against Felicia Spencer. He's like, I want to fight. And they were waiting for fans to come back so that he can fight. And that's why he fought in 2021 in January when they went to Abu Dhabi, the first show that had some kind of fans. But I do not think it is fair to say it's the UFC's fault for this behavior. That I don't think that's fair. You could be frustrated. You could be, upset. You could be disappointed. You could be depressed over the fact that you're not. Whatever it is, but like 1 + 1 does not equal 2 in my opinion here. So, I think that's a bridge too far. If you're asking me. Kenny, hello Ariel. I suffered through a large amount of bullying and racism during my childhood, but there's been noticeable progress in the 2000s regarding racism, along with sexism and homophobia. However, the one type of discrimination and hate that I haven't seen progress in is anti-Semitism. In my opinion, it's actually gotten worse. My question is this: how do we stop this regression, and how do we educate people like Bryce Mitchell? Look, if I knew that, I don't know if I'd be sitting here right now. Obviously October 7th changed a lot. And, the fascinating thing about something like this is I will sit here and talk about this and someone will be like, oh, there's the Jew crying again. But I will tell you this 1,000% from the heart. I've been in this sort of public eye since 2007. Jerry Park, then MMA Rated, and then on it went. I have never experienced anything. I've certainly experienced hate. I experienced pushback. I've experienced criticism. I've experienced everything. Anyone who's in the public eye experiences that. You suck. You're this. You're that. You're a shill. You're not a shill. You're a clown. Whatever it is. But I have never, ever, ever experienced the type of anti-Semitism that I've experienced over the past year and a half, which dates back to October 7th. October 7th and the aftermath of October 7th gave everyone carte blanche to just be out with it. And there are no repercussions whatsoever. And so you're seeing that. There are repercussions if you say things about other people, but Lord knows we have seen it time and again. Just look at all the examples. I don't have to go over all of them over the past year and a half, and there are no repercussions. And people hide behind, anti-Israel, anti-Zionism. It's all anti-Semitism, in my opinion. And the detractors will be like, no, there's a difference. There ain't a difference. I'm telling you this. If you come out and say the things that you are saying about the state of Israel, to me, that is an attack on the Jewish people. And then when you come out and say, rat, this, that, Holocaust, this, that all falls under the same umbrella. And by the way, you don't get to determine what it is. You, the one saying it, you, the bigot, doesn't get to determine what it is. We determine what it is. We determine how we feel about it. You don't get to tell us how to feel about it, especially when there is a long history of it. And then there's, of course, the whataboutism. Oh, but what about this? But what about that? But what about this? But why don't you say this? But why don't you react to that? No, we're talking about this thing right here. Don't change the subject. And that's what happened back in October 7th and in the aftermath of it. How does it change? I don't know. Have I ever experienced anything like this? No. And I feel for my children who have to experience this as well. I don't know. I really don't know. And it hits close to home because of my family's history, because of the fact that, this has brought back memories for my parents and my mother, who lived in Lebanon, whose parents, my grandparents, were kidnapped. The stuff that she had to endure and then had to flee Beirut to come to Canada. My father, who grew up in Egypt, and had to flee and come to Canada, and all this stuff. It has, I can feel it. I can see it in them. It has brought back a lot of bad memories. Yeah, it's awful. It really is awful. And I just know from people that I interact with, and certainly my sentiments, I don't wish that upon anyone else. I don't wish that upon Christians, upon Muslims, upon Catholics, upon Hindu, upon anyone. I don't wish that upon anyone else. I see a lot of hate coming from other people to us, and I don't understand it. We're not the ones making these decisions. We're not the ones on the front lines. I think most people that I interact with just want peace. They want harmony. They want everyone to be safe and just live a life, because you only get one life. But there's all this type of conspiracy bullshit about this is because of the Jews, and this is because, and there's no repercussions. There never has been. There never will be. And the first time I really experienced this was in 2021, when I weighed in on the Gina Carano situation, because it was an MMA story to a degree, and a story that was near to me. And I specifically said, while doing my little video on it, that I do not want her to get punished. I have to preface this every time. I don't believe in cancel culture. I don't believe in punishment. I believe in education. I believe in evolving. I believe in getting better. But like, just canceling someone or firing them doesn't solve any issues. And then, of course, Dana White said what he had to say, and nothing happened. Absolutely nothing happened in terms of any sort of repercussion. The people at ESPN were like, oh, we're so upset, but they didn't do shit. They didn't do anything. Now, could you imagine a year and a half prior, or maybe like 8 months prior, if something akin to what happened there would have happened between, say, a white owner and a black journalist during the George Floyd situation? Could you imagine the uproar? Could you imagine the repercussions? Nothing happened. So that was the first time in this era where I was like, oh, we play by a different set of rules, and that's okay. And I know that there are people watching right now who'll be like, oh, he's playing the victim card. Not playing. I'm answering the question. I'm telling you how I feel when I go on my social media and I see this stuff. Like, it's not even. I'm not even. If you look at my Twitter, I never talk about this stuff, because I know it's a cesspool, and I know that it's just I have not touched any of this stuff. These topics, I don't talk about them. I've kept it to sports. I've kept it to MMA. I've kept it to boxing. I've kept it to wrestling. I've kept it to the NFL, to the NBA, because I want nothing to do with it. I'm not interested in getting into an argument with people who come from a place of hate. And I know what their motives are, and you're not going to convince those people, and I'm not interested in trying to convince them. I'm not interested in having that type of discourse. I am interested in having conversations and discourse with people who have different ideologies. That's why I've said to the likes of Bilal, who I know doesn't feel the same way about my people as I do about his people. This is very clear. Just look at his social media. But I would love to come to a common place. I would love to try to show people that we could come to a common place. And I have no issues having anyone who, necessarily doesn't think the same as me coming on in a respectful and professional manner to talk about these things. I would even have Muhammad Makayev on the show, not to talk about him leaving the UFC or not, being able to get back, but like, we can have a grown-up conversation, and maybe we could then show people that two people who come from different places, who have different ideologies and different beliefs, can still come together, because we're a lot more similar than we are dissimilar, in my opinion. I really, truly believe that. But man, there's so much division, there's so much hate, and because there are no repercussions, and because everyone's just so out with it, and because there's carte blanche now, it's become the okay bigotry to wear on your sleeve. I'm so tired of talking about it. I hate freaking talking about it. It's hard for me to stop when I'm asked these questions to keep on going. Like, my mind is telling me right now, stop talking. Like, you're only just opening up a bigger can of worms, but it's so in my face every single day. We did this show from 2009 to 2023, and it never came up once. It only came up in a joking way. Me and Khabib, Jews and Muslims come together. It only came up in like that way, and I could laugh at myself as well. Helwani knows all that stuff. But I'm so tired of it becoming a thing. I'm so tired of it becoming a topic, and I'm so tired of MMA becoming this breeding ground for it, due to the likes of Jake Shields and Bryce Mitchell and others. It sucks. I wish we could go back to October 6th. And even that was in a perfect place. But it sure as hell was better than what it is today. So I believe we have our first guest, do we?
Yep.
Okay. On that note, we'll get to many more questions on the back end, but let us go to our first guest of the day. He had another scintillating win this past weekend. It was in Saudi Arabia. He has become a massive favorite in his own right. He's had 3 fights in the UFC. He's won 2 bonuses as a result. He's now 3-0 in the UFC. He's a product of the Contender Series circuit as well. He defeated Said Nurmagomedov in Saudi Arabia. He is the pride of Porto Alegre, Brazil. He is the man they call LokDog, Vinicius Oliveira. Hey, there he is. Hello, my friend. How are you? Bom dia.
Oh. Hey, bom dia.
Yeah. Parabéns, parabéns.
Thank you, obrigado. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I did my best. It's a pleasure to me to be here talking to you. It's like a dream come true. I usually listen all your podcast interviews, and I thought one day to be here one day. This is the day. I'm really happy.
Amazing. Well, I'm so happy to have you, and congratulations on not only the win, but everything that you have done in your career to get to this point. Can I ask you, first things first, about the nickname? 2 questions. Is it LokDog or LokDog, and what does it actually mean?
LokDog. LokDog is all together. LokDog, it means like a similar a crazy dog, but Lok is a different of crazy here in Brazil. It's a smart crazy. It's not just a crazy with no sense. It's like a smart guys who do crazy things. For these reasons, Lok. And dog is normal. LokDog.
I love it. Now, who gave you this nickname?
The guys that don't like me. It was a bad. Yeah, it was. It was to be a bad nickname when I was a young. The people usually talk from LokDog to insult to humiliate me, and I didn't like this nickname. But now I become this name a better name, a better name.
Okay, you're owning it. This is great. And it fits your personality to a degree. The win on Saturday was very impressive. And afterwards, you revealed that you had a serious rib injury. You could tell throughout the fight and in the aftermath of the fight that you were in a lot of pain. So can you tell us, when did you suffer the injury, and how close were you to actually pulling out of the fight because of the injury?
So this injury, I had this injury for like 6 months or 7 months. Yeah, a lot of months ago. I was supposed to fight on October 26th in Abu Dhabi. So for this, but I didn't fight in this event in UFC because I had a lot of pain in the same place here that I felt right now. So I healing, but not 100%. And my fight that was supposed to be on October 26th was canceled. Then I received this contract to accept this fight again that I fought on February 1st. That I can't refuse this fight, even with a tough injury. But I accepted this fight even I am injured. Then, but I was really not 100%, but a little bit, like 70% or 60%. I was better. And 10 days before the fight, I have this injury again.
Oh.
But this injury coming tough, really hard. This injury coming. Then I thought in cancel this fight again because I can't breathe, I can't sleep, I can't sit down, I can't do any fucking thing. So, but there is something inside. I start to pray to God. I start to talk with my partner, with my psychological. and I just need to keep going because it's not it's not worse that I have faced in life. I faced bad things in life, so this pain is nothing compared to this kind of things.
And so in the fight, how much did it bother you?
Man, really hard. It was so tough in the first round. And I was taking some medicine to try
Mm.
to erase this pain. And this medicine, I was sleeping, I was tired, I was a little bit dizzy. So, but during the fight, I didn't felt my opponent punching. I just felt my pain when I movement, when I shot, when I turned my body in the first round. And when they break it to the first to the second round, the pain was really tough, and the third round more tougher. So, but I need to keep going. I can't stop to fight. But to be honest, there is some part of me, like my body, wants to give up, but my mind needs to keep going. So for this reason, I keep the fight and I fought to the end. I can't stop. I needed to do my best every single moment in life. But to be honest, the pain was really hard, man. I don't know if someone can stand this pain, but I can. I could do that.
How does it feel now
I made
after the
it.
fight?
I'm not so good. I'm still feel pain. I'm doing some treatment to get better. I'm taking some medicine. I'm doing I'm not doing exercise because I can't do that. I can't do some movements to sleep. Is worse. It's really tough to sleep, to wake up, to do some things, to talking. Even hurt
Wow.
my rib when I talking a lot, when I breathe. But I'm doing some treatment to get better. I think in 45 days I will get better.
Okay. I heard from some fighters who said that they had a hard time breathing in the arena because of the paint in the locker room. I heard this from several fighters now. Did you experience that at all?
The It was my first time that I felt this pain during a fight in the locker room. But I was supposed to. My body wants to give up, but I had something in mind to told me to me every single time, keep going, go ahead, never give up, never refuse. So I don't know why I keep it this fight. Maybe I have some monster inside me who needs this feeling.
LokDog, yes, it makes sense. You and Said, I saw you guys before the fight. You were playing ping pong. How did that happen?
Man, it was really crazy. But actually, I don't hate this guy. I Because he was a big inspiration for me. Uh, every day when I thought about this fight, when I saw his regular heroes, I need to train harder. I usually watch all his fights, all his Instagram, like everything, his posts, his video. I I I knew everything about this guy. So he was one of my biggest motivation for this fight. So I don't hate him. Ping Pong was a game, but not friends. Was a like a friends. Was a game, and I won the game on ping
Oh, you
pong.
did.
And I told to him, yes, and I told him, man, see you on Saturday. I'm gonna win again. And he started to smile, but he don't understand my English. And of course, my English is not so good, but I try to explain my feeling, and I talk some good things for him. But when we going to wait him to face off, so the game changed because there is not friendship.
Hmm.
That from that moment when the up in the scale, he became my first enemies. So I stopped to smile. I stopped to talk to him. So I just wanted to kill him.
No, I understand that, and you did a great job in the fight. But you do have this fun personality because I've seen your other videos as well. There's one video where it looks like you're maybe doing something. You're shooting something in your buttocks. I've seen this video. You know this one that I'm talking. Oh yeah, this one here. And I saw another one
Because
of
like
you.
this, I'm I'm thinking a lot of people think that I'm the stronger fighter to my division. I'm
What's going on here,
bantamweight, but
Vinicius? What's happening
my
here?
off my off I don't know how to say in pounds, but in kilos it's 6-1. But in Nofi, when I am out of the camp of the fight, I am 80, so I need to lose 20 kilos to fight.
80. What is 80? 80 kilograms is 176 pounds. You have to lose like
80
yeah,
80 kilos.
that's
Yeah.
176. And you're fighting at 135.
Yeah.
You're losing 40
So
pounds.
40 pounds. So the people usually say that I use drugs like steroids, and I don't
Ah.
use anything like that. I'm just stronger. I'm just stronger.
By the way, why do you go all the way to 35? Why not 45 or 55 so you don't have to lose so much weight?
It's really tough to lose this 135. No, to 20 pounds. 20 pounds.
Yeah, you go to bantamweight, right? You go from
Yeah.
80 kilograms to bantamweight. Why not go to featherweight or lightweight so you don't have to lose so much weight?
Ah, man, because I have a dream inside UFC, and my first dream was become the bantamweight champion.
Okay.
Maybe after I become a bantamweight champion, I moved to another division like featherweight, and then I moved to another division because I have a plan inside UFC. I wanna be 3 times UFC champion in different divisions. Six to bantamweight, featherweight,
Wow.
and another I'm still don't think about.
Wow. Okay, that's never been done before. The guy that you said you want to fight next is the guy who just fought for the bantamweight title, Umar Nurmagomedov. You
Mhm.
said that you think he's scared of you. Why do you think he's scared of you?
He's scared of me because he knows that I'm taller than him, I'm stronger than him, and I am unpredictable fighter. He will never know my next step. Even me, I don't know my next step. So my opponent even never know my next step. He's scared of me, but why? I'm a dangerous fighter because I am good at stand up. I'm good on the ground. I'm good in all situations inside the fight. So, and I don't fear nobody. I think my mind is my main point, and he knows about that. And he maybe he because he's a fighter, he wants to fight against me, but his coach, his trainer doesn't allow this fight because for me it's great I defeat these guys because I'll give you a big step in my career inside UFC. And if he lose to me, it should be a shame from Nurmagomedov family. And for me, not. And I'm totally sure about that. I think he can imagine in my mind if when he looks at my eyes inside, he can see the demons inside, and I'm talking true. I'm be real when I talk. I'm win this fight, and he believe that because I trust in me myself, and he and all Nurmagomedov believes when I'm talking about that because I can express that when I look at his eyes. And when he looks at my eyes, just inside, he can see the demons inside. I'm
Wow.
ready to face him. I'm ready to face anyone Magomedov guy. I'm the Russian hunter. I'm Russian hunter right now.
This is incredible. By the way, what did you think of his performance against Marab? A lot of people thought he was going to win that fight. He did not, obviously. What did you think of his performance?
He lose this fight even if his hand broken. If his hand wasn't broken, he gonna lose the same way because the mentally was totally different. I think the main point in fight inside UFC is the mentally, and Merab's mentally was tougher than Umar Nurmagomedov, and Merab's has more experience inside UFC. I think he's more sure about his goals in UFC. And Merabi doesn't have no one. It's just Merabi. And Umar Nurmagomedov have Khabib, have another Nurmagomedov guys inside UFC. So when you have no options just to win and win, you're gonna win for sure. And Merabi have many people try to protect him, like Khabib, uh, Ali, and another guys who love this Nurmagomedov inside UFC. I don't hate Nurmagomedov inside UFC, but I'm not alone as well. I have my team, I have my family, my partner of the, and some fans who likes me. But inside UFC, It's just me versus me. If I lose, I'm gonna lose again, just with in my me and my team. But if Nurmagomedov lose, he's gonna have Khabib, Ali, and another Nurmagomedov guy inside the UFC. So even if Umar doesn't have broken his hand, Merab will defeat him somehow for sure.
Do you think
And I am the only guys inside UFC who is able to put Umar and Merab on the ground for sure because I'm a different kind of guys inside UFC. I'm not just striker. I'm not just grappling. I'm not because I don't fear about any style. When I fought, when I fight against when I face a guy who is good at stand up, I will fight standard with him and I'm win to prove that I'm better than him. If I fight against a guy who is good on the ground, I will fight on the ground with him to prove that that I'm better than him. So another guy is totally different. If one guy from FC will fight another guy with a different style. He wanna run away this style, and I'm not. I get into his style to prove that I'm better than him because I'm a full fighter inside the FC, as I told before.
you fight Marab now? You fight Marab this year. How does that fight go in your opinion?
Man, first of all, I will put he on the ground to prove that I'm better than him for sure. I'm totally sure about that. I put him on the ground just to prove that I'm better than him. Then I will knock him down because it's my style. We can run away of our style. And I'm a striker. I'm a boxer. I'm a great boxer. I'm a great Muay Thai. But I have a good wrestling. I have a good jiu-jitsu. I have a good all-time FC. I'm good. So with my prediction for this fight, if this fight will happen, I think he will not stand three rounds against me. He will get tired. He will get tired because
Tired.
everybody's tired for sure because I will pressure him, and no one fights pressure here because all fighters who face Merab have scared about his takedown, and I'm not scared, so I will pressure him all the time, and he will try to run away because he will not stand in front of me to accept my punch. So he will got tired to run away these fights because if when he tried to put me on the ground, my defense will be unbeatable. My defense will be amazing, and I will frustrate him because he will try to put his game up on me, and he will can't do that because I'm sure you I'm better than him in all situations. But Merab is not the case right now because UFC will not give Merab right now. I don't know who will be my next opponent, but if I face Mirabi right now, this year, first of all, I will put him on the ground for sure. Then I will frustrate him in second round. In the third round, I will knock him down
Wow.
for sure. Believe in my words. If this fight happen this year, I will do that.
I
But
love.
before this fight, I need to face Umar Nurmagomedov. I need this fight.
Do
I
you
don't know why. It's become personal. It's become personal right now.
why? Why?
It's
Why?
not because I trash him and he trashed me on social media. He told bad things to me, and I told bad things to him again. And he told he will face with me on the street. This kind of shit. This kind of shit. But man, I come from the hood. I came from the poverty. I oh, I have lived a gangster life in the past. So if he fights to me on the street, I'm able to kill him. I will I will take off his hurt and feed all the dogs on the street because I'm dangerous. I'm really dangerous inside the cage and out of the cage. But I wanna face him inside the cage because it's nice. It's more happy to face him inside the cage because I will beat him in front of his family. And I talked on Twitter to Daniel White, I think yesterday, that if he have in UFC in Russia, Moscow, put me against Merab because I will defeat Merab in his house.
You mean Umar?
Put his
Umar.
family-
Umar.
Umar. Sorry.
No problem.
If he did, no, but both.
Both of them. Why not? Why not? Why not? I love it. I love your confidence. Can I ask you, when do you think you will fight for the belt? What's your prediction? How many more fights before Vinicius Oliveira is fighting for the title?
The maximum 3 fights. The maximum 3 fights I will be fighting for the belt because the next fight I don't know who I will fight against, but doesn't matter as well. But I think more 2 fights I will be fighting against Umar Nurmagomedov. In the maximum 3 fights I will be fighting against Umar Nurmagomedov for the belt or not for the belt. And the next fight will be for the belt for sure. But before fight for the belt, I need this fight for me. I don't know if Dana offer fight for the belt before fight against Umar Nurmagomedov. If I will accept this fight, I have no clue about that. But I think or I will fight for the belt before Umar Nurmagomedov, then I will call to fight against Umar Nurmagomedov. But man, believe me, till the end of 2026, I will be fighting for the belt. But I think the maximum, in my opinion, 3 fights I will be fighting for the belt.
I love it. I love it. And when you do fight for the belt and when you win the belt, I want to come to Porto Alegre and I want to go to Mega Pizza. I want to go to Mega Pizza.
Oh!
Come on. Isn't that the best pizza, right? That's the number one? What do we order?
Man. No, Mega Pizza is the best pizza of the world. Believe it, because I have been in a lot of countries in the world, in a lot of places, and that is not similar. Not similar. Man, believe it.
This is it. What is this? What is this?
I'm not.
This is Mega
It's a
Pizza?
pizza, but
What kind of pizza? What is the pizza to get from Mega Pizza?
What
do you order?
A chicken. Deixa eu ver. I don't know how to say in English, but it's Pizza Hut, pizza chicken, Pizza
Hut,
Portuguesa. There is a name. A chocolate pizza. That is the same as well. Man, Mega Pizza is the best. When you come here, I will take you to Mega Pizza for sure. Believe it. But just come here.
Look at this. What they have. Look at wow. Look at that with strawberries on top.
Strawberry, chocolate, man, it's amazing. But Mega Pizza is the best.
By the way,
sure.
you have chicken heart on your pizza?
In Brazil, there is everything. In Brazil, you can put everything because we, how can I say, we create a lot of style of pizza. Everything. If you give us one paper, with this paper, we Brazilian can do an airplane, a boat, a car, a motorcycle, because we do everything, man.
Maybe you're gonna maybe you win, you beat Umar. They make a Mega Pizza for you with Umar's heart on it. You said you take his heart out and you feed it. Maybe you put Umar's heart on the pizza.
No, I not invite Umar to come here to Brazil. If he comes to Brazil, man, it will be really tough. I think man, it's not good. Umar, don't come to Brazil, Umar. If you wanna keep alive, don't come to Brazil, please.
Okay, fair enough. I love it. I love your energy and your confidence. It's a beautiful thing, and you're really making a name for yourself. So I hope it continues. I hope you continue to find success, and I can't wait to see how the year plays out for you, Vinicius. Thank you so much for coming on the show, and great to meet you, and we'll have you on in the future as well.
And I promise improve my English to have more interview with you.
I love it. It's a deal, my friend. It's a deal. Thank you. Obrigado, parabéns. And we talk to you soon.
Thank you.
There he is, the great LokDog. No, LokDog. Wait, what is it, Frank?
The chat says LokDog. We're gonna go with the chat.
No, what did he say?
Yeah, what are we even talking about with the chat? He said LokDog.
Yeah, he said LokDog. I was screwing. Yeah,
I've been corrected for generations that it's LokDog.
Who said? I think. Did Rick say LokDog?
Rick said Lok.
But it's lock, like a lock.
Yeah, Lok.
By the way, I love the fact that it was an insult and he turned it into a nickname.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Way cooler than someone giving themselves a nickname.
We going to Mega Pizza?
Yo, Mega Pizza looks fire. That second one.
Does?
I mean, what was going on? I understood so I understand the strawberries. What's under the strawberries?
Looks like
Nutella.
Looks like icing or something.
Yeah, okay. Then the other one is Nutella, no? My question is,
Nutella-ish chocolate something.
what's the one? What's the main one?
I'm not gonna lie. This looks like a cheddar broccoli soup or something.
Yeah.
In like a bread bowl.
But as one pie, that's one pie.
One pie, yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. What about the divider in the middle?
Yeah, a dough divider is what it looks like.
You don't
yeah.
often see that.
There's a lot of crazy looking ones from Mega Pizza.
What? Yeah, this is kind of.
Big on the sauces. A lot of pepperoni.
What's going on the right there? Chicken heart? What is that all about?
Let's go to the one you originally showed them. It looks like just like a giant just glob of mayo.
I'm old school. Give me some pineapple. Give me some green olives.
Old school.
And that's it. What is going on the right there? Like, what is that stuff on top?
I hope it's not mayonnaise.
Oof, mayonnaise.
Don't even speak that into
It
existence.
looks
Oh,
like mayonnaise.
I just got so nauseous. Oh, that's awful.
It really doesn't look great. The braided crust looks pretty good though.
Ooh, you know what? I didn't even notice that. That actually looks incredible.
Mega
Yeah, you got
Pizza.
the braided crust with your mayo.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Mega Pizza. His face lit up. So we got to go to, damn it, what was the burrito place with Paul Hughes?
Boojum.
Boojum. We got to go to,
We'll go once he gets his black card there.
yeah. I think
Pay
it's in the
for all
works.
of us.
We'll go to Derry, right?
Mhm.
We'll go to Derry with Paul Hughes, and we'll get the burrito. I don't even remember which burrito he said. And then we'll go to Mega Pizza. Mega Pizza needs to sponsor this guy.
Yeah. Boojum for Paul Hughes, Mega Pizza for LokDog.
By the way, what a personality, right? What an
Man.
energy he has.
The man. My breakout fighter of the year. No big deal. Already off to a hot start.
I should have said that. Way better than my pick,
What'd you have?
Payne Talbot.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
No, you know what? I could totally see it. I mean, the rib injury might derail him, but if he fights 3 times this year and he fought February 1st, so he's probably going to get 3 fights. He is charismatic enough. He is fun enough. He's crazy enough to be in a position to really be a player by the end of this year. I could totally see it.
Yeah, maybe we get him back International Fight Week or something.
Or if they go to Brazil.
Yeah, now we're really talking.
Although I don't
Mega
think he gets
Pizza-
the I don't
Mega
think
Pizza
he
in
gets
the
the
back.
Umar fight. By the way, I don't hate the idea of him fighting Umar. I mean, Umar made a big jump to get to Corey Sandhagen. Why can't Vinicius now get a big jump to get to Umar?
I think there's a lot of people LokDog's willing to fight. I saw Rob Font.
Yeah, he
Dominic
called out
Cruz, but
Dominic
he said he's
Cruz.
retiring.
Yeah.
Hates Fareed Basharat.
Oh yeah, that's right. We didn't get into that. I'm not even quite sure why he hates him so much.
I don't know, man, but he doesn't like him. That could be a good one. Neither of them are ranked right now.
There it is, yeah. This is back in August. Hey Fareed, you bitch. You're afraid of me. You weakling. I'll finish you off, you piece of S. Sign the contract and don't be afraid. Now, was there an actual contract? You know, who knows? And then there was like 3 more, right? Shut up, Fareed. You're a fucking bitch. These are his words, not mine, okay? I'm going to sign my hand on your fucking face. I'll be happy to beat you. It'll be a pleasure to rip your soul out. I'm noticing a theme here with the ripping out.
This was like
very
these
poetic.
were like 3 weeks apart too.
Was there another one? I think there was a third, no? Or am I crazy? Hey, Dana White, give me Dominic Cruz because Umar is weak and won't excite the public. His fights are boring and don't excite. So give me Dominic Cruz. Now, this is back in July.
He corrected this.
What do you mean?
He corrected it. He said, if we could show the tweet, we have it right here.
Oh, we have another one.
Yeah. He said,
I forgot. Umar Nurmagomedov, Dominic Cruz is retiring. So you can come Rob Font.
yeah.
I'm waiting for you.
So we got Fareed, we got Umar, we got Rob Font. All doable fights.
I love it.
Except Rob and Dom fight next week. Or 2 weeks from now.
February 22nd, yeah.
3 weeks from now? 2 weeks from Saturday.
17 days from now, to be
Yeah.
exact. And a little over a month from then, we're getting a tremendous, tremendous rematch, my friends. Tremendous rematch from the world of women's boxing. March 29th on ESPN and ESPN Plus here in the United States from the relatively new Fontainebleau. I always have to say it like that. Fontainebleau, not the Fountain Blue, the Fontainebleau. A rematch of one of the best fights of 2024. It was a fight that happened right here in New York City, not too far from here at the theater next door to Madison Square Garden. At the beginning of the show, I went through the history between these two individuals. Mikaela Mayer, who is now the WBO welterweight champion, she secured that belt after beating Sandy Ryan in September here in New York City. But so much happened leading up to the fight, and a lot has happened since the fight. And there were some questions as to whether or not the immediate rematch would happen, but we did find out late last week that it is going to happen on March 29th. Tickets on sale, by the way, this Friday. And you see the poster right over there. Tremendous stuff by the top-ranked team, and they're leaning all the way in to some of the drama and controversy that occurred before the fight. And so without further ado, let us say hello to the brand new champion, the WBO welterweight champion, who will be defending her title on March 29th. Let us say hello to Mikaela Mayer, and let us say hello to the pride of Derby, the one and only Sandy Ryan. They are both here, kind enough to join us. Mikaela, how are you? Thank you for the time.
I'm good. How are you? A long time.
Yes, it is. It is a long time. It's so great to talk to you again. And Sandy, I'm sorry that you have to speak to a Forest supporter, but it's great to have you on for the first time as well.
No, I appreciate it. Thank you.
So, guys, we have been looking forward to this rematch, and certainly I've been looking forward to this chat. And so let's get right into it. There's obviously a lot of history there. And Mikaela, I'll start with you. I remember in the ring, right after the victory, you said, you know, rematch maybe, but like there are other names. I want to defend the title against other people. I want to go out and maybe challenge myself against other people. Ultimately, why are you fighting Sandy and not someone else next?
So I never wrote off the rematch. You know, I always want to put on the best fights possible. If the fans want to see the rematch, I'm all for it. I didn't get my rematches, so I know how it is. I think it was, if a rematch is warranted and it's worthy of a rematch, then I'm all for it. But I did want to take my time in that moment to see what my options are. You know, 2 years to get the belt back, and I just wanted to sit down with my team and explore those options before I made a certain decision. But it made the most sense. You know, we got the numbers back for that fight. People were talking about it, and I said, okay. You know, there was a lot of talk about, oh, Sandy only lost because she was distracted before the fight because of the paint incident. And so I just kind of want to shut up the controversy and shut up the naysayers, and I'll just do it again better.
Sandy, I'm assuming you have watched the fight since. Do you think that you deserve to lose that fight, or do you disagree with the judges? Do you think you did enough to win?
I watched the fight back once when I come into camp. It was a close fight. Look, close fight. I fought the wrong fight. Mikaela, she deserved to win. So I can't argue against it. But I felt like it needed a rematch, you know. So I'm happy, and I'm happy Mikaela took the rematch too.
Okay, and so let me ask you about something Mikaela just said, about all this talk that your head wasn't in it, you were too emotional, you were too distracted. Do you regret going through with the fight after everything that happened on that Friday night with the paint and the controversy? And I saw the interview with you and Mark Kriegel in the locker room. You were clearly bothered by it all, and I believe your head trainer said, let's leave, let's not stay here, let's not fight this fight. Do you regret going through with the fight?
No, I don't regret it at all. I'm a fighter at the end of the day, and I went for a long camp. I was there. The fight was there. So there was no, it didn't pass my mind that I was going to pull out the fight. Obviously, the circumstances wasn't ideal, and every fighter would know that. But what could I have done? I'm a fighter, and I wasn't going to pull out the fight.
Mikaela, they have leaned in, like I said, into this paint gate, if you will. I know on the night you said you had nothing to do with it and you had no idea who was behind it. Do you have any idea now? The insinuation was that you were behind it, not that you threw the paint at her, obviously, but that was someone who was a part of your team, or that you put someone up to it. Do you have any idea who did this?
Still have no idea. It's really not my problem. You know, everyone wanted to point the finger at me, but you have to understand, I was getting ready for the fight of my life. Why would I go in and sabotage that? Again, I was coming off of 2 years of not having my belt. This was the chance for me to get it back. And that's just not my style. That's not how I was brought up, you know, with Coach Al and everything and my team. And if you know me, that's just not my style. So I don't know, but I think one thing everyone is looking past. I don't think that the paint being thrown on Sandy was the issue. It was the way her team reacted. Her team caused her to be mentally fucked up. Like, I know Kay, he's a calm person. And the fact that he ran into her dressing room, all worked up, screaming at her to pull out of the fight, almost as if his plan didn't work because Sandy wasn't going to pull out of the fight. And props to her. She's a fighter. She went in there and she did what she had to do. And that's what you got to do as a fighter. But the fact that her team was making a big deal about it, trying to convince her to pull out of the fight, that fucks with you more than, getting a little paint thrown on your leg. So if I were her, I'd look inside her own team. That's just super suspicious to me.
Okay, and you're referring to her head coach, Kate Karoma, who obviously you have a long history with, who then, decided to train Sandy, and now she trains with him. What is your response to that, Sandy? Is there any credence to what Mikaela is saying there?
No, look, everyone reacts different. It was at the time, everyone's emotions were all up in the air. Mine was up in the air, for God's sake, but everyone reacts different. I reacted different. It showed in the fight. But look, I have full trust in my team. That's why I'm back out here training. So.
Right, and out here is Las Vegas. Can I ask you, who do you think did it? Who was responsible for this, Sandy?
Look, I don't know, but there's obviously a lot that went on more than just the paint. So I have thoughts, and I think I just let people think who they think it is. But you know what? The paint incident, I couldn't care less anymore. The rematch is on, so I'm happy. I don't even think about the paint. I let people have talked it up that much. I just let them carry on talking about it. But me, I don't care what happened in the past. The past is the past.
But you've been bringing it up too, though. You've been dragging it out and bringing it up too. So you do care. You've been pointing the finger at me and my team.
Before the rematch got signed, of course, to try and make the fight, because people are talking about it, of course. But me personally, I don't even dwell on it anymore, because the past is the past. We can't change the past. What matters is the now and the future fight.
Mikaela, could I ask you about something else? Because she mentioned, Sandy did, that there were other stuff that happened. Her team did post some flyers that I guess were posted around the block where they were staying, with pictures of her face on it, with some maybe unflattering things, beneath her face. Did you know about this?
I haven't even seen those photos. I heard one tweet about it, that there were other things going on. I really don't even know what she's talking about. Again, like, this could be a fan thing. This could be someone who is Team Mikaela. I don't know. You think I have time to waste going around doing shit like that? That's like not my style at all. I don't know who did that. That's really not my problem. But at the end of the day, who cares? This is fighting. Like, there's drama. There's going to be things going into a fight that are going to distract you. To be mentally strong. I don't really think that the paint incident affected Sandy. She says she had an off performance because of it. Maybe because her corner is weak. She's a weak corner. Coach K left her, abandoned her in the biggest fight of her life, sent her in the corner with T-shirt boy Flick. So she didn't have him while he stood in the background just watching. And, they hyped her up and stressed her out. And, that's what happens when you don't surround yourself with a good team. So, she's back here training in Vegas, but I know she doesn't want to be here. She tried to go back to the UK and train with another team. They wouldn't accept her because they were loyal to another fighter in the UK. And so she had to come back to the US. I don't think that she's had enough time to get her circle right, to get her mind right. And she doesn't even know who she's training with. She knows nothing about Kay. She knows nothing about the team that she's with. So in fights like this, your corner and your team are very important. And you need them when the fight gets tough. And I don't think she's going to have that once again.
Sandy, is that true? Did you try to leave the team in America and go back home and were rejected?
No, I went back home because I'm from the UK, I'm from Derby. I went back home to my family and my friends. And to be honest, I didn't do much boxing when I was back home. I just was training with my brother, and there was always
Chantel Cameron
coming back.
Chantel Cameron told me you tried to train with her team, and they wouldn't train you because they're loyal to Chantel. You tried to go back to the UK. You tried to go back to the UK and train with Chantel's team. Yeah. She tried to go train with her old team that she's not with anymore, and they're loyal to her, and then they said no to you. So you were forced to come back to the U.S. And now you're fully on board with Coach K. Even though I know you were training with him all along, you tried to pretend like Flick was your coach when I know you guys are all a team. I know because I was part of that team. I know how they work. But now Kay is fully open to training you for this fight. And so I hope he shows up and does a better job than Flick does because, again, this is the next big fight of your life and you're going to need a good corner. But who knows? Who knows what Kay's going to do for you?
Sandy, I'm sorry to harp on this, but, you know, I've been covering the fight game for a long time. I've never seen anything like paint being thrown on a competitor before a fight or posters like this being posted, you know, throughout the block where the fighter is staying. So could I just ask, who do you think did the posters? Who do you think posted that stuff all over the block?
Someone who knows, who's got an insight of me and my team, and so I don't know. I'm not pointing fingers, but it's pretty obvious. But like I said, I don't really care about all that. I'm just locked in on the rematch, and yeah, whatever about the trainers and whatever Kay's training me, he's doing my corner, UFC fight night. So.
Mikaela, in the promo for the fight, they're kind of, you know, leading up to the first one, they were calling it the ultimate betrayal and all that. And obviously you're bringing up the history with her now coaches and your former coaches. Do you still feel the same way? Do you still feel that betrayal? Is that what is fueling you going into the rematch?
No, listen, Sandy did me a favor ultimately. I leveled up so much with my new coach, Kofi Jantua. I'm learning, I'm growing every day, I'm getting better every day. I was stagnant with Coach K. I realize now that he's really just a conditioning coach. Like, I know that Sandy's going to come in there doing the same thing. She's going to be well conditioned, but she's not going to be any better. So it is what it is. It was a blessing in disguise for me. Initially, yeah, it was a betrayal because Coach K said he's bringing in Sandy. And I said, why would you do that? Like, I'm at welterweight now. She's the champion. He said, well, you guys aren't going to fight. And I said, wait, why wouldn't you want me to fight? As my coach of 10 years, shouldn't you be helping me navigate my way back into position, wanting me to get the fight with the champion, not training her and training my competition? So that's when I knew, like, him bringing her in the picture was going to prevent my opportunities because he was going to try and navigate around me. And that was, like, when I knew I really had to walk away and find something different. I wasn't going to run alongside Sandy, okay? I'm never friends with my opponents. Like, that's just not my style. So I wasn't going to run along, train alongside Sandy, have the same sparring partners. He said he was going to find a way to make it work, but, like, I know how they all function. He said, oh, she's going to train with Flick. But Flick's always there. Flick is Kay's assistant coach. Like, they're all a team. So I knew I had to walk away. I'm glad I did. It all worked out for me. And I'm better for it. So, or better because of it.
Sandy, I know you just said that you don't regret going through the fight. But do you think in retrospect that you fought too emotionally and that affected your performance in the fight?
Yeah, of course. I fought with emotion and anger in that fight. It's obvious. Obvious to the people that know me, sorry. But yeah, it did cost me the fight, but I'm not kind of dwelling on it much. I know what I need to do and I'll be physically and mentally prepared for this one.
Is this personal for you, Sandy?
Personal, yeah, and business.
Personal, why?
Just because I just don't like the woman. But it's boxing, isn't it? So it's business at the end of the day.
Have you ever faced an opponent that you didn't like as much as you don't like her?
No.
But you don't like me because I've called you out on your shit. You're the one who came into my country, tried to train with my team. You even sent me a letter saying, I'm so sorry that I know I'm coming into your territory. I never spoke to you about it. Like, you know, you made the wrong move. I would never go into a girl in my weight class's camp and expect to train with her and her team. So you know what you did. You just don't like me because I'm calling you out on your bullshit. Everything I'm saying is factual. I'm not even talking shit. I'm just speaking facts.
Okay, no, I just don't like the way you are as a person. It's not anything
I'm
to do with teams
facts.
and trainers. Huh?
What? Huh?
It's not all about trainers and teams and all that. I just don't like you as a person.
But we were cool all the way up until this situation. I have your nice messages. We spoke on the phone. And I told you how this was not cool with me. It was a major conflict of interest. And you didn't care. You did what you had to do. So just stick by that. But don't turn it around like I'm the bad person. I'm the one who had to walk away and find a whole new team.
I didn't say you was a bad person. I just said I don't.
You just said you don't like me as a person.
What? Exactly. I didn't say you were a bad person. I just said I don't like you as a person. Like, it's not that I just don't like you as a person. I don't have to be friends with you.
It's mutual.
Mikaela, can I ask you? We showed a photo earlier of you guys back in the day. It seemed like you were pals. I know you've trained together. Here you are.
Yeah, we came up in the amateurs together. You know, we worked together. We sparred together. We, you know, Team GB came to Colorado Springs often to train with Team USA. So, and even when I came to the welterweight division, like I never even had bad blood with Sandy. Like I only created a rivalry when it's real and genuine. You know, like when I fought Natasha Jonas, we never really had any beef. It was just all about the competition and the fight. So I never had a problem with Sandy until she became a problem.
And so I'm just wondering, like, is it all about that for you? Is it because you feel like this whole thing with the trainers, or was there more to it? Did something else happen to lead to the first fight? You know, because I think that
no, she had the belt and I wanted the belt.
Yeah.
And Coach K said, "Oh, you guys aren't going to fight." So I fired Coach K, and 3 weeks later, I made the fight because that's what I do. So this was business for me. It was a business move, and you know, to me, like I know how important a good team is, and I'm not going to go into the biggest fights of my career like with a team that I don't trust in, who was lying to me, because Kay was lying to me.
Sandy, you're a Matchroom fighter. This is a top-ranked fight in association with Matchroom. You are in the United States. This time it's going to be in Las Vegas, but currently in your career, 0-1-1 in the United States. Do you feel comfortable going into Vegas under a top-ranked umbrella, going through this whole thing all over again, considering what happened in September? Are you comfortable?
Yeah, people think I'm crazy, but yeah, it's going to be the third time I'm fighting in America, and you know, I actually like fighting in America. I believe I've built some American fan base, so it's just my time to get the victory this time.
Do you feel like you have the blueprint to beat her because of who you're training with now? They know her better than anyone. Do you feel like you have that insight that maybe some other opponents wouldn't?
I don't really look into that because this is the second time I'm going to be fighting her now. So I'm just going to believe in my ability and get it right this time and not fight on emotion and anger. And you'll see the best Sandy Ryan.
Mikaela, you were shaking your head when I asked that question. Why?
Because Kay doesn't know me as a fighter anymore. Like I said, you know, he was part of my team, but he wasn't my whole team. And I know how he is. Like I watch now the training that him and Sandy do. I'm just like, being with Kofi and, you know, leveling up my training and continuing to grow these last 8 months, like I realized that being with Kay was keeping me stagnant. And so I don't see her coming into this fight any different. And she definitely doesn't know what I'm coming in with because I've been training, I've been getting better, and she's not going to be able to prepare for it. Like I'm really fully confident in that. But I mean, she's gonna try her best. You know, she's gonna try and be mentally strong this time. And we'll see if her and her team can, you know, won't have any excuses this time, but I'm going to be better and stronger, and I'm going to do it better. I 100% believe that.
Do you feel like you are under Sandy's skin, Mikaela?
I think everything gets under Sandy's skin. She's just kind of like mentally weak, in my opinion. Like, I think that she really has no backbone. Just listen to the way she talks. Like, I don't think that she's confident in her team. She tried to go to the UK and train with someone else. I think she's sort of, you know, she's only been a few months and she got her belt taken away. And, you know, I've been there and it takes time. And it's like, I don't think that she's really like done the work to recover mentally from this. So I don't know. No, I don't see her as like a mentally strong person. Like she's definitely going through it mentally right now.
Sandy, these are some harsh words here from Mikaela. And I know you referred to her as a trashy woman when she flipped you off at the face-off leading up to the fight. When you hear her speak about you like this, how does it make you feel inside?
Just shows what kind of woman she is, and that's the reason why. That's the only reason I don't like the woman, to be honest. But you shall see this fight. She thinks I'm mentally broke and mentally weak and all that. But yeah, you see this fight.
How do you
see who's going to be the broken one after this fight?
How do you envision it playing out? We're rapidly approaching. It just got announced, but it's less than 2 months away. When you think about the fight, Sandy, how do you see it playing out?
I believe I'll stop it this time.
Wow. What makes you feel that way?
I believe when I watched it back, the shots I was catching her with, I still wasn't getting. I wasn't sitting down on my shots because I was fighting on emotion and anger. So we'll wait and see this fight when I'm connecting clean and let's see if she can take the shots then.
Mikaela, what about you? When you envision it, and perhaps a response to her prediction, how do you see it playing out?
Just what I did, but better and clearer and wider. You know, like I said, I've been working on sitting my shots too. Sandy, I don't think she can come in there, you know, very much different. She didn't hurt me with anything. Meanwhile, Sandy was throwing up in the bathroom after the fight. I know I was catching her with shots, and I know I'm better and stronger than I was then. So I plan to come in there and hurt her even more. She was hurt in that fight. I know she was. She can deny it and say whatever she wants, but I have double the fight she has, and I never ran to the bathroom and started barfing after a fight.
Is that true, Sandy? Did that happen?
I mean, she can't say she hurt me because I was kind of walking her down throughout the whole fight, taking shots, and there's not once I took a back foot. So you can't really say that you hurt me, Mikaela. You didn't hurt me.
But were you throwing up in the bathroom after the fight? Were you throwing up?
The
That
whole
means you were concussed.
emotions. Because we put on a great fight, and I left everything in the ring, and before the fight I was emotionally drained from what happened. So I was already drained going into a 10-round fight with you. I was already drained.
But you were throwing up, and you did go to the hospital.
What about now when I'm coming? What about now?
My shots were hurting you more than your shots were hurting me. My shots were hurting you more than your shots were hurting me. My shots were hurting you more than your shots were hurting me.
You believe that, Mikaela Mayer?
You were throwing up in the bathroom and then went to the hospital because you were concussed. I heard you. You were right behind the curtain. I've never thrown up after a fight. So obviously
my
you were
team
hurt.
was like, go to the hospital to check up. This is boxing. Of course you're going to go. This is boxing. Of course, if you're sick after a fight, you're going to go and get checked up. It's obvious.
We are very much looking forward to the fight. Can I just ask you before I let you go, Sandy, will you have extra security? Are you planning any extra measures to make sure that no shenanigans of any kind, whether they are, done by anyone, that nothing of that sort happens on fight week?
Yeah, I think my manager is taking care of that, so that will be also it's all sorted.
Okay. And Mikaela, by the way, what do you think of that poster? Do you feel you're okay with them leaning into the paint stuff?
I didn't see that poster before it was launched. That was definitely a top ranked PR team. I mean, this is boxing, but it's entertainment at the end of the day. So they're doing what they got to do to build on the drama and the excitement and get the fans interested in this rematch. So it is what it is. But again, the paint thing's not my problem. Like I'm not happy. I'm not happy that it happened because it could have put the fight in jeopardy. And after all the work you put in to get into a fight, the last thing you want is for it to be called off. So I am grateful that Sandy stepped into the ring at the end of the day, and I'm not happy with whoever did plan that. But it happened, and so hopefully it gets people excited. And again, I want to shut everyone up, and I'll give her another chance to do it right. Hopefully, no incidents go down, and she doesn't have an excuse for a performance or a lack of performance. And yeah, again, I'll just beat her better this time.
Appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much. I know these sometimes can be uncomfortable, but really appreciate the time, and I wish you guys the best. Tremendous first fight. Can't wait for the second one. Good luck to you, Mikaela. Good luck to you, Sandy. And again, thank you for joining us today.
Thanks for having us.
Appreciate it.
Take care, guys.
Bye.
There you have it. Mikaela Mayer and Sandy Ryan. They'll be running it back on the 29th of March at the Fontainebleau in Las Vegas. It will air here in the United States on ESPN and ESPN Plus. I do believe on Sky Sports over in the UK. That's where the first one aired. And obviously Sandy with a big following over in the UK. Tickets on sale at 10 a.m. Pacific time this Friday. And it is a top-ranked card in association with Matchroom Boxing. Sign me up. WBO welterweight title fight. No love lost between these two. And the backstory is straight out of pro wrestling. I mean, the pain thing is still one of the craziest things that I've ever seen. Never seen that before. That is like a drive-by attack. And it could 100% get you off your game. If you watch, it's on YouTube, there's a pre-fight interview with Mark Kriegel in the locker room before the fight. Sandy's wearing a New York Yankees hat, and it's pulled all the way down, and you could tell she is visibly upset, visibly fired up, emotional. And her team is out there saying, like, let's leave. Let's go home. She stayed with it. She fought the fight. It was an incredible fight. Do yourself a favor. If you have not seen the fight, go back and watch it. An amazing fight, and we're getting the rematch on the 29th of March. A ton of big fights coming up in the sport of boxing. A ton of big fights coming up in the combat sports world. So I am very much looking forward to that one. All right, that was a lot of fun. I like doing those. I'm not sure if the fighters love them, if I'm being honest.
Oh, they love them.
Who do you think enjoyed that one more?
I think Mikaela enjoyed them.
Yes. She does have the gift of gab. She does actually great broadcast work for NBC during the Olympics. And so sometimes when someone has, a little more comfort in that world, it can seem somewhat one-sided. But trust me, Sandy Ryan is an incredible fighter. She's the former champion. She brings it very, very fun to watch and very talented as well. So looking forward to that. All right, let us move along. Do we have our next guest?
We do.
Okay, yes. Always very excited to speak to this proud Canadian. She is flying the flag, winning her fourth straight this past weekend in Saudi Arabia, making history, the first UFC women's fight to take place in Saudi Arabia. We saw the first one with Clarissa Shields back in the PFL card last year. We saw a boxing match with Sky Nicholson in October, but this was the first under the UFC umbrella. And I mentioned the flag. Perhaps no one right now is flying this beautiful flag higher than the great Jasmine Jasudavicius. She is the pride of Niagara, and there she is joining us once again. I still have my cup right here by my side each and every show, Jasmine. Congratulations on the big win.
Thank you very much.
How was your experience over there? I saw you really taking in the culture, enjoying your time leading up to the fight. What was the experience like over in Saudi Arabia?
It was amazing. Like, I kind of didn't really have any expectations going in. And just like getting there and like experiencing Saudi Arabia was like super cool. The people are all very nice, very kind, very like accommodating. The food is so good. I wish I got to overindulge a little bit more, but after the fight finished and everything, I got like a day or two to really, really take it in. But yeah, I want to like go back and go out of fight so I can just like eat more of the food there, in all honesty.
By the way, are you back home now? Are you back in Canada?
Yeah, I just got back yesterday.
How long were you away? Because I remember when we spoke to you after your last fight, you said you were going to Indonesia, and then I think you said you were going to go to Thailand. And so did you go from Thailand to Saudi Arabia? Has it been months since you've been back home?
Yep, I left December 5th.
Wow.
And I just got home yesterday.
Wow. What was that like to be away for so long?
So it was challenging because I feel like a lot of things like went by. Like, I missed Christmas, I missed New Year's, so it kind of doesn't feel like it's a new year for me, if that like makes sense. I don't know. So there's that, and I like missed my family. I missed my nieces. Like, it sucked being away from family at Christmas, but I felt like I was on a mission, and it was like really cool to be in Thailand. Like, if there's anywhere that I'm gonna miss Christmas for, it'll be on the beach in Thailand.
Did you even celebrate Christmas over there?
We trained like so my coach Jelly, he was like kind enough to leave home and come with me for almost the entire camp. And so I mean, we went out for dinner and we said like Merry Christmas. But we didn't really like I don't know. We trained. It was cool. Jelly and I were there and like training on Christmas, and then I look over and like Whaley's over there with her team training. So I don't know. It was a special Christmas.
The decision to not do this camp at Niagara Top Team, it's been going so well for you over there. Why did you make that call?
Pretty much because of like to the time change. And it's like winter here, and I'd be going and fighting in the desert. Like it's on the other side of the world. I already had the trip planned to go to Indonesia because I was cornering a teammate of mine, Danielle Lentini, and she killed it there. It was so awesome. But so I was already going to be on that side of the world. So I just figured like, what about if I stayed? And then so we talked to the coaches and like everyone discussed it. And then we made a whole big plan with like Jelly coming over and everything. So we like made it make sense. And it turned out to be like such a great camp. And like we learned so much. It was really cool.
I heard you say in your post-fight interview that it was a great experience because you're out there sparring people that you've never heard of, that you've never met before, that you have no relationship with. And so I would imagine from a confidence standpoint, you see these people, you do well against these people, it changes a lot for you going into a fight, right? That must be different than seeing the same old faces at the gym leading up to a fight.
Yeah, that's exactly it. It's like every day you're challenged. Like you can't take any easy rounds. You're going with people that are completely unknown. Like I'm going with guys, I'm going with girls, and I have no idea their skill sets. I have no idea kind of anything about them, and finding out what in my game works like uniformly over all the different styles that I see.
Did you have some kind of relationship with Mayra? Like, did you consider her a friend? And if so, was that weird for you?
Yeah, it was really weird. So I met her when I was at ATT a while ago, and I like, you meet people and you become friends with them, and we genuinely like became friends. I really like her. I met her mother, Gloria's mother. Like it was like so unexpected when the fight kind of came up. But like I know that she's a professional, and I know that she like enjoys fighting like I do. Like we have the same mentality. So I knew that it wouldn't be any like hard feelings. Like I knew she was gonna train hard and then go in there and try to kill me, and like vice versa. And it's really cool to like have that respect for each other, and like that love for each other all at the same time. I don't know, it's crazy.
So you're currently on the longest winning streak of your UFC career, 4 in a row. That's tied for longest in your MMA career. But this stat to me is extremely exciting for you. Obviously, the Canadian with the longest winning streak is GSP in UFC history. That's 13 in a row. But right now, if we exclude the great GSP, who I know you had a chance to speak to when you were at the fight there, you are together. I'm going to ask you about him in a moment. After GSP, 5 in a row is the most for any Canadian in the UFC. And so if you win your next one, you're tying Rory McDonald, Ayman Zahabi, TJ Grant, and Hakeem Dawoudou for most wins in a row in UFC history. That's not bad for a Canadian. That's tremendous. Did you know this?
I know. I didn't know that. So I'm thankful for you telling me that. Like that's just even more motivation. That's awesome.
So there's some rumors about a potential return finally to the great city known as Montreal, my hometown. I think this would be very exciting. And I was thinking, like, man, we need someone to be at the top of the bill. And I was trying to throw out perhaps a Jasmine title fight in Montreal. Is this possible, or is it a little bit too soon? Is the timing not going to work out?
I mean, I was gonna like take a break and like chill after the last fight, and then this opportunity came up for Saudi Arabia. And now this is another big opportunity. So I don't know. We'll see. Like I know my coaches have been like talking about it, and I I'm open to anything, but I don't know for sure.
By the way, when you say talking about it, do you mean just fighting in Montreal, or are you actually talking about a title fight?
No. Like, I mean, I would love a title fight.
Okay.
I hope. No, but no, just talking about like fighting and who to fight or who to like ask for, and all the whole game of it all.
Sure. Speaking of GSP, I saw a video of you guys kind of talking to each other after the fight. What were you saying to him?
I told him that I met him before.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay. So I'm telling him about the marker sparring that we did. I think it was when he was getting ready for the Bisping fight. He was doing it. It kind of like trains your nervous system, I guess.
Oh, wow.
And so I don't know for sure. Like, ask him, because maybe I just remember that incorrectly. But it was like marker sparring, so you just have to like touch them with your marker, and he did it with me. And
Wow.
actually, I'm pretty sure the video's on my Instagram. I'll send it to you if it is.
Okay.
But yeah, so we did this. So I was telling him how we did marker sparring before.
Well, I never heard of that. I've never heard of fighters doing that. Is that a unique thing to their gym? Is that a TriStar?
I don't know. We were just there for like the week, and like he just happened to be doing it. I had already done a practice. He was like getting ready to do his own practice, and he was just doing it to warm up. So he was like, anyone who was like around the gym, he would just like do it with them, like just screwing around,
Wow.
getting warm for his session.
Was Saturday the first time since then that you saw him?
Yeah.
Wow. That must
Yeah.
have been a thrill to now see him at your fight, watching you in the UFC.
Yeah, it was crazy. When I saw him, I felt like I was like nervous to talk to him. Like, oh my God, guess what?
Did he give you any words of wisdom? Anything that he say that you recall? I'm sure a lot of it was a blur, but do you remember anything that he said to you?
Just like asked where I was from, and I'm like, oh, just like down in Niagara. So that was about it.
What's wild about that is I do believe you have always said that you want to be kind of like the female GSP, right, for Canada, and so there he is at your fight.
It's funny because I said that in the fight. Bisping asked me a question, and then I said that. And I don't know if he was there at the time or not, but I'm like, how ironic that he's here. And I said, I like spoke about him.
Yeah. You didn't even know at the time that he was there.
No.
Wow. That is crazy. You would think that they would tell the Canadian that royalty is in attendance. There's a couple names. There's Blanchfield. There's Cortez. Are those at the top of the list, or is there someone else that you would put at the top of the list?
Yeah, I mean, whoever's got the highest number, like obviously, is who I want. But I think the Blanchfield fight would be good. I mean, I fought her teammate already, so I feel like it makes sense. But I mean, I think Grosso's not booked. I think Macy Barber's not booked, and so I don't know. I'm open to anything really.
So we're talking about the highest of the high, the upper echelon of the division.
Yeah, man, like reach for the stars. I'm not here for a long time. I'm here for a good time.
I love it. Can we talk about Stick Nation? What exactly is this Stick Nation? We saw this video on your feed, and we're still unclear, if I'm being 100% honest. Like you're reviewing a stick. What is happening here?
Yeah, so that's Stick Nation. It's like an Instagram page that I stumbled upon, and it's just like people show their cool sticks that they find, and like there's a guy that rates them and everything. And so I always have like been kind of like, I guess, keeping my eye out for cool sticks.
Wow.
Like ever since following this page. I followed it for probably like a year. But I go on a lot of hikes. and it was actually in Edmonton I think we went for a walk like 2 days before the fight when I'm like cutting weight and all that. We'll always like go for a walk. I'll find a cool like trail to go on outdoors. And so we were doing that, and I saw this stick. I was like, holy, like, look at this thing. This is unreal. And so I got one of the guys. I'm like, this is for Stick Nation, and got one of the guys to take that video, and I'm proud of it.
No, it's actually fantastic. I was wondering if that was like two sticks attached, or is that just a one big piece?
It was like, it looked like a piece grew into another piece.
Wow.
And it became one. Like, it was very. I'll post a close-up picture as well.
Okay, so then the biggest question is what score did you get? Because it's a site that reviews it, right? That's what they do, or they give you like a rating, or no?
Yeah, it's like a rating. I got a good rating.
What'd you get?
I got like a bunch of 5 stars, because it's like multiple different things that you get rated on, and so I got like a couple 5. I think I got a couple 5 stars.
Wow, well done. Congratulations. That's very exciting. I also saw you like hanging out with some kangaroos, and I don't know if like, what is this place? Kangaroos, were there koalas involved as well? Is this in Canada?
Yeah, so that's in Canada. So that's at a wildlife refuge, and I'm friends with a guy, and he's a veterinary, a vet. There he is there, and so he let me come and help him do vet stuff, because in wildlife vet there's like less funding for it or anything like that. So he just does it for volunteer to like help these animals out. And they get cases from all over Ontario brought in. And yeah, he goes there and fixes them all. And so he let me come with him one day. And I got to learn so much about like being a vet and wildlife rescue, and like the different eye injuries that birds get.
Wow.
But yeah, like very, very interesting things. So those kangaroos were at that place as well.
Shades of Hope Wildlife Refuge in Ontario. Is that what it's called?
That's what it is, yeah.
And are there actual kangaroos in Canada, or do they bring them over?
I never actually asked the story on how they got there.
I thought they were just in Australia.
But no, we don't have them here. They maybe somebody brought them over and we're trying to like keep them as a pet or something. I don't know. I'll ask. I'll find out.
Please. And that's you kissing a kangaroo, yes, in the video, I think?
Yeah.
Was it lips to lips, or what are we doing?
I mean, I tried. I don't think it wanted to kiss me back.
Wow, you wanted to kiss. That's interesting work on your part. I don't know if I'd go that close to the kangaroo.
I know.
Germs? No.
Maybe.
I'm a germaphobe, so I don't. Did you touch the pouch? Did you touch, or is that?
No, I didn't. They didn't come around like too much.
Oh, okay,
that was just a good clip that we got.
It's a tremendous clip. I was blown away by it, and I was I thought you were in Australia or something. I didn't know that a place like that existed in the United States, or sorry, in North America. So now you're back home. You're just going to chill for a little bit, wait for the call. Maybe May sounds like it could be a little bit too soon. 3 months.
It's definitely not too soon.
Okay.
I just kind of am like tired. I'm tucking out. I train like really hard, and it takes a toll on me. So I kind of want like a little bit of a rest, but I feel like if I just stay out of the gym for maybe like 3 or 4 days, that'll be enough of a rest that I feel like I need. But so I mean, I'm definitely open to it, but I just fought, so I'm still letting the sand settle.
Sure. No, I get that. By the way, I have heard from some fighters who said that they had some issues in the locker room because of the paint and breathing issues and whatnot. Did you experience any of this?
Yeah, they like freshly made the rooms, like the I feel like it must have been the day before. I think it was like right before slap fight, because I talked to the slap fight guys, They were in the same hotel as us, so like it was really cool talking to them. But they said it was so bad, and it was really bad even on fight night. But I just kept on thinking, if it's bad for me, then it's bad for her too. So it just kind of equals each other out. Like, what are we gonna do about it?
Did you feel like you were having a hard time breathing?
Yeah, it was. I felt like dizzy almost.
Wow.
When I was like hitting pads, but whatever.
Whatever. Yeah. By the way, what do you think of those slap fight guys?
It was really cool meeting them, actually, because I have to be honest, I was a little bit like judgmental, like, oh, that's so stupid, like you're just getting a concussion, whatever, like. But after meeting them and like hearing about them and hearing their stories, like one guy, he used to fight, but then he broke his back, and so he can't fight anymore. And so this is still like a way for him to kind of like get that rush that we all love fighting. And then there was like, everyone had different stories on why they did it. And it made it a lot more interesting for me. And it was cool to like ask them about their techniques and like just kind of like talk that kind of stuff with them.
Would you ever do it? Like, did it inspire you to try it?
I don't think I would, but I mean, never say never.
Jasmine versus PVZ, slap fighting 47, main event. You in?
I mean, I'd do it.
Oh my God, this is music to Dana's ears. Dana is over the moon now. This is tremendous. You could be the first person to cross over. I don't think any active UFC fighter has crossed over. I don't want to see you do it, Jazz. There's no defense. It looks too painful.
Yeah, no, it's wild.
Yeah. Favorite thing to do now that like you get to chill out back home? What's like the thing that you do to let your hair down, indulge, take your mind off of fighting?
Like play with my cat. I missed her so much while I was gone, but no, I don't know. It's probably just visit my friends and my family. I haven't seen them in so long. I'll do all the Christmases that I didn't do while I was away.
By the way, I have a dog. I'm not much of a cat person. I have nothing against them. I just never lived with one. Does the cat react when it, like, my dog goes crazy if you leave for an hour? Does the cat react when it hasn't seen you for 3 months?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like they know who you are. Like she's a lot more like cuddly and around me. And I was worried because she was young when I left, and then I was gone for 2 months, which is like, say, a sixth of her life or whatever it may be if you figure out the math. But I was nervous she wasn't going to remember me. And like Chris was making jokes like, oh, Lucy doesn't even remember you. She doesn't even know who you are. I was like, oh,
that's awful.
Actually breaking my heart.
Well, I'm glad she still does. And very glad to see you pick up another win, 4 in a row. You are representing us, the great country of Canada, not the 51st state, right?
That's right.
We're staying independent, yes?
We're staying independent.
You're not on board with this 51st state stuff?
I stay out of all of that.
Good call, Jasmine. Good call. Well done. Very, very proud of you. You're continuing to fly the flag very high, and hopefully we'll see you back in there in a big time fight later on this year. A pleasure as always to speak to you. Thank you so much, and again, congrats on the win.
Thank you so much. Always a pleasure talking with you.
There she is, the great Jasmine
Jasudavicius.
Yeah, it sounded like she was still on the line, right?
Yeah.
It sounded like she was still. Why do you say that?
Oh, because I was saying goodbye to her while you called for the
Oh,
game.
fuck.
Yeah.
I screwed it. So go say goodbye right now.
I already did.
Oh, is she still there?
Yeah, I can multitask, but it's difficult.
Is she still there?
She's gone now.
Okay.
Jasudavicius.
Oh, there it is. There it is. All right. Well, great stuff there. And we got more show to go because we didn't get to all the questions. There's like 1,000 questions here. So let's go back to the questions and let's really, no more guests now. Now we could really let our hair down and really answer the tough questions. All right.
That first time we did it, that was garbage. None of you who had your questions answered there, it mattered at all to us.
Those were easy
questions. This is the real right here.
Anti-Semitism, Conor McGregor.
Yeah, by the way, you did like the deepest, longest answer in the front, and you're like, all right, now we really are going to get into it.
And then all of a sudden, it's like, I'm like really getting into it, and I can't stop and then I see Vinicius is waiting. I'm like, what is poor Vinicius thinking about right now? Like, what show has he just joined?
I wonder how much of that, like, to be honest, he was on his phone. I don't think, I'll say this. I don't think he was like locked in going, what is this guy ranting about? I think he was like just getting ready.
Okay.
I don't know.
So
he probably
I think
was
you're
locked in.
He's locked.
His name is LokDog.
LokDog, yeah.
right
I like him a lot. That's the thing I must say, if I can. Like, there's so many fights. And I don't know if fans feel the same way. I'm speaking for myself here.
Yes.
But there are so many fights. There are so many fighters. Let's be honest. They all dress the same because they have to. It's hard to stand out, right? And there are some that do a great job on their own of standing out and they go the extra mile. But when you then talk to a Vinicius Oliveira and like see his energy and learn about his story and get a feel for his person, now I'm locked in, pardon the pun, right? And so that's, I would like to think that's the beauty of shows like this, not just mine, but you get, it's one thing to see them in a 2-minute post-fight interview or in those pre-fight scrums, which you don't really get a ton from, or even the post ones. But like now I'm like, I want to see how far this guy is speaking with such conviction and such confidence that he's going to
you mean when he's going to out-cardio Marab and when he's going to be 3-division champion across 3 weight classes?
I love it.
I'd said it in here definitively. It is official. Mark it down. My new favorite fighter.
Wow.
Yeah, he's number one.
True or false, he fights for the belt by this time next year.
What is he ranked? What's his?
No, too soon.
I think it's too much of a
man. Look at Umar.
Shoot up at 135. I know, but I think Umar undefeated.
Yeah.
Magomedov last name.
Would it be crazy though if he got like a Montel Jackson or Marcus McGee fight right now? Like
no, but
Tyler Phillips.
That
not
gets
at
him
all.
in the top 15.
By the way,
he'll crack it.
By the way, make the Umar fight. Why not?
Oh,
he's asking
Umar?
for?
Nah.
Why not?
Chill out.
Why not?
There's a big difference between the level that he's fighting.
Yeah, but he's asking for it. And for Umar, it's like, get a W, get back on track.
Okay, I'll say this. Umar himself went through the frustration, right, of like, nobody wants to fight me. He would be reciprocating if he were to give somebody like Vinicius a shot. I just don't.
Also, he gets the revenge for Said.
How many people are calling out Umar Nurmagomedov?
No, none.
Like with that type of
That's the story.
gusto.
The story is that he wanted everybody and nobody wanted to fight him.
I like it when a guy shoots his shot and look,
I want my guy to build.
Look,
it's too much to
if he was sitting there saying like, give me Marab now, I'll be like, yo man, there's a queue here. But is there really a queue to fight Umar? No, because no one's asking for that fight. Eventually he's going to fight and they're going to book him against someone. But I don't know, man. I don't
like an Amen or Rob, like a Kyler Phillips. Give me
that fight.
Amon's a hobby, not bad. In
I like
Montreal.
that fight. Yeah. Oof.
That's a great fight.
That's what I want for now.
LokDog versus Helwani.
That
Jasmine Jasudavicius for the title.
Hell yeah.
Don't tell that to Mano. Mano deserves the title. I was just kidding.
He's obviously going to get the title.
Jasmine time.
I think Jasmine's 1 or 2 away.
Yeah.
Dude, she really is about like we were talking about on the post show. She's there. Like it's
literally
coming.
1 or 2
top
away.
10.
Yeah. If this Montreal fight was like in December, she could have gone one more and then easily like fought the winner.
Give her a top 5 fight in Montreal.
Give her a Blanchfield or someone, or by Cortez.
Rematch?
Yeah, hell yeah. I feel like she wants that one back.
Cortez is actually 10th, so she'll be fighting down in the rankings.
What is she now? Oh, she's 9, right?
Yeah.
Let's go to Abe. Hello, Ariel and crew. No question today. Just want to show appreciation for the show. Last week's OTN brought joy to the soul. Ariel's anger at the Go Pacers line, followed by GC questioning why anyone hates the Pacers, and the debate that ensued, whilst Pizzi's in stitches in the corner honestly had me in tears. Not to mention the crew's reaction to the Kleenex box story. That might have been my favorite debate from you guys since Frank's belief that he and some others have a quote-unquote inner dialogue versus GC's belief we all just have thoughts. The Royal Rumble,
shout out, yeah.
The Royal Rumble lottery, always a classic too. Keep up the great work. P.S. Izzy should fight Holland next. Kevin Holland is fighting Gunnar Nelson in London. That kind of came out of the blue, right? Very quick turnaround for Kevin.
Oh, is
it? Said he wants to fight 6 times this year. I don't think he cares if he wins or loses.
Kevin Holland would fight every single day if he could. There's no.
What was the Kleenex box story?
When his brother threw the Kleenex.
Oh yeah, God, that was
Where's your mind? My brother whipped the Kleenex box at my head. Yes, I still.
Every Gunnar Nelson fight comes out of nowhere. In fairness,
that's a good point.
That is a fantastic.
It's more surprising for the Gunner side than it is the Holland side.
Greatest mixed martial artist from Iceland.
1000%.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not even a question. And his father's the best
Second
coach.
is the mountain.
By the way, I still think that you guys were just like riling me up with that. Like the fact that you find it so weird that I have a deep hatred.
Nobody finds it so weird.
For the Indiana Pacers.
Yeah, that's
for
it.
the biggest rival. One
No,
of the
they're
top
not
three.
the biggest rival. No.
It's top three. It's Bulls, it's Pacers, it's Heat. And pick the order.
From a lifetime ago.
Lifetime.
Literally just eliminated.
No,
them
not
in a
yes.
heated
Just eliminated
series.
with
Like,
your team
literally.
in the infirmary. Your team had
Second
0
round.
players.
What does it matter?
Your team
What
had
round?
0 players.
What does it matter?
Your team
There's
had
only
no
4
players.
rounds.
Or never
was
slip in the finals. It doesn't.
Oh,
get knocked out
that's
first
actually
round.
bullshit.
Get knocked out conference finals.
That's
don't matter.
You realize we were the number 2 seed, yes? Like we weren't like just like
yes,
bums.
the healthy team was the number 2 seed.
So crazy. And by the way, the whole point of being a fanatic, which is the longer term for fan, right? Is being irrational, is hating people for no
so you're
reason.
recognizing it's irrational then.
It's
Perfect.
just
we've
it's
finished
it's insanity. Everything is insanity about sports. The fact that I'm still depressed over the Bills, the fact that I am choosing not to watch the Super Bowl is insanity. All of it is insanity.
You're really not even going to turn it on?
I have no
Your
interest.
kids have to watch.
I've told them. Not in this house.
Wow. You're putting your foot down. No one will watch
Ban on the
You
house.
won't watch
My daughter's going to a party. I said.
To a Super Bowl party?
I said, enjoy SZA. Enjoy the halftime show.
What if there's a Janet Jackson moment and you miss it?
Couldn't care less. I'll see it 4 seconds later on Twitter, and then I'll block the account.
Okay, so you'll be
Any
living
account
on
that tweets
Twitter.
about the Super Bowl is
You'll be
getting
living
blocked.
on Twitter watching it all.
No. Any account that tweets about the Super Bowl is getting blocked, including.
You're going to be upstairs in your room.
Yeah.
Your kid's going to be watching it in the living room. You're going to just hear A minor.
Fuck that. Yo, shout out to Drake. He showed up at his concert. You see that with the bullet holes?
Damn, I can't even lie. I didn't see this.
Oh, yeah. Bullet holes in his shirt and smoke coming out of it.
Yeah, that's about right for these days.
To Drake, to his own concert?
To his own concert. He's saying he's been crucified. He's been villainized.
Yeah.
He's been vilified.
He just lost a diss track beef.
Nah, diss track beef.
Now there's the lawsuit. He's about to lose
we
that
got lawsuits now?
Yo, by the way, I didn't realize it won Album of the Year and fucking Song of the Year.
This is
crazy.
This really helps your point of Kendrick Lamar shouldn't be anywhere, doesn't deserve anything.
Also, didn't
really
win
helps your
anything
point.
for Good Kid, Mad City. Wins it for this.
Never even heard of that.
Good Kid, Mad City.
What is it? You know about this, PT?
Yeah, of course I do.
Yeah,
I know everything about it. I'm a good friend of Kendrick Lamar's.
Now, all right, so now you really are in a beef with Ariel. So we're at the
Yeah,
number
I
one.
mean-
I'm built different.
Yeah.
I'm loyal. What do you want me to say?
I'm built
I'm
different
alpha.
than Drake, I'll tell you that much.
I see the bullet hole thing.
Yeah. What do you think? I made it up?
No. I'm just saying I see it now.
Joshua Helwani, congrats on the new show. I don't miss a second, mate. Thank you. You've got a hard job too. Cover journalism correctly, but you do a stellar job, my friend. Just ask Dallin. Who's Dallin? Did I get got there? I don't know. My question for the team is: would you rather fight two Dakota Dachevas? Oh, sorry, two Dakota Dacheva-sized Francis Ngannous, or one Francis Ngannou-sized Dakota Dacheva? Why do people love these?
A Francis Ngannou size.
I'm getting the shit kicked out of me either way.
I'm going to the hospital no matter what. But I think just seeing the marvel of a Dakota Dacheva sized, a Francis Ngannou sized Dakota Dacheva.
What the fuck is that?
That sounds. I'll take that one.
This one's great. This is great. There's no winning though. These are both losing.
It's a spectacle either
we're
way
really
for
getting
the people
into
who get to see it.
There's like certain themes on the Substack. Like we get into like certain like blocks, and so we continue with this type of theme. Andy Koufax, our good friend, of course, everyone knows Andy. Ariel, first,
great guy.
A little housekeeping concerning last week's entry. In the year of our Lord 2025, I wouldn't eat Subway with Frank's mouth.
That's a great line.
They're now a
Great line.
disgraced franchise whose sandwiches have the appeal of a Bryce Mitchell podcast.
Oh boy.
The Subway veggie patty is the Tony Ferguson of sandwiches, a legend in its time whose greatness cannot be grasped by the new fan, now befuddled by its praise. Anyway, Dana said it had...
That is, dude is writing
He's
hot
cooking.
fire
Yeah,
out there.
he's
He is
cooking.
cooking, and then he's like, anyway.
Yeah, anyway. Dana has said that he has something special planned for Islam, but he wants the winner of Drickus Strickland, and that's not happening. Ilya in Spain is not happening, and Bilal 170 is also not happening. Any guesses? For Islam,
For Islam?
Didn't they say Charles?
I feel like it's Charles, right?
That's special, isn't it?
Charles and then Mike Chandler.
And then when Mike Chandler beats Armin, it's Mike Chandler.
You think Mike Chandler beats Armin?
No, I don't. But I
Right.
just feel like it's kind of
Just
goofy
imagine-
that's even like a thing.
Imagine
Scenes.
the chaos scenario.
It would be quite the story. Fucking hell. I would.
Would he get a title shot? I guess, right? If he beats Armin.
Who, Chandler for sure, but they said it's not happening. At least not happening now.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure, to be honest.
Topuria?
Is that special for Islam though?
You know what?
I don't like that idea. I'm just trying to
Volk
think of
deserves-
what's.
Could we give Volk the rematch? Like, I think
Yeah,
he's
please.
earned it. Like, I don't want to see him get.
And look, there's lots of new contenders at featherweight. I'm just trying to consider what could be special for Islam at this point. You know.
I don't know. I think Topuria versus Volk in Miami makes a lot of sense. I like that one. Although it is rapidly approaching, by the way. Like we're approaching 2 months.
Yeah.
They've probably been planning for each other though. No, I mean I feel like just let's make this official.
Kyle, Ariel, as a Howard Stern fan, if you haven't already, you need to check out Dark Side of the 2000s on Vice, episode 5 and 6, Shock Jocks. A lot of the things Howard did and said back then haven't aged well, but it was a different time and nobody's perfect, so it is what it is. One thing that surprised me, though, was how poorly he allegedly treated and compensated his coworkers and employees, especially as he became a giant star, making huge amounts of money. I know business is business, but it didn't sit well with me. Thoughts on the importance of somebody taking care of the people who helped get them to the top? Any MMA-related examples of people who left others behind once they became a superstar? Golly. I have not seen those. I didn't even know there was a Dark Side of the 2000s, to be honest.
Yeah,
I
I'm
know,
looking forward to watching that.
yeah. I know about Dark Side
What-
of the Ring, Dark Side of the Cage.
What are all these dark sides on?
Oh, Vice.
Vice.
We
But-
get them on YouTube over
Okay,
here.
you-
But
I
they
think
do post them. I mean, it's a fantastic... Dark Side of the Ring is incredible.
brilliant.
And Dark
Is
Side
that
of the
wrestling
Cage...
or boxing?
wrestling.
Okay.
By the way, not a bad idea for boxing, too.
Didn't they have a few boxing episodes? No.
Dark Side of the Ring is definitely wrestling, and there's like
Oh, yeah.
7 seasons of it. It's crazy, and they are not, running out of stories. There's so much, so many people who've died young, so much controversy, so many weird things that have happened in boxing. I don't know about this story. Like, obviously, I loved Howard, and yes, maybe some of the things didn't really age well. I don't know what he's talking about. Like, he was very controversial. He was very crass. But that, shock jock, that's
Yeah.
the term. That's what he was. He took chances. The movie is amazing. Have you guys seen the movie Private Parts?
I have.
It's a great film. No one else has.
I saw one as a
I have,
kid.
yeah.
Oh, it was amazing.
I've never seen an episode of the Howard Stern Show.
Wow, that's wild.
I've only seen clips. Of,
But when you say
like, the
seen, have
stand-
you heard it? It's a radio show essentially.
Oh, news
Wow.
to me.
Wait, you didn't know what it was?
I knew of the Howard Stern Show. Have never consumed it though.
Wow. So
And did you beef? Like, you didn't like Opie and Anthony because you were a Stern
yeah,
guy?
no, I
Is that the way it
was,
was?
yeah, 100%.
Yeah, it's
I
crazy.
was all about Stern. I adored him in high school, and 11 o'clock at night, 11 p.m. on the channel E, they would have like a 30-minute version of his show. His show was on terrestrial radio here in New York City, K-Rock, but it was simulcast all over the country. And then there was a brief period, by the way, when I was in the 9th grade, that it came to Canada. And it was gigantic news that a Canadian station, a Montreal station, was going to... So it was in different markets, but it finally came to Montreal when I was in 9th grade, 97. Massive news, and it lasted like 2 months. It was... He really leaned into the Canada stuff, believe it or not, and they took him off because he was so controversial. And so I would listen to it on the way to school. But at 11 o'clock on weekdays on the channel E, which I think is still around, right? Is E still around?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You would
Oh,
have
hell
to-
yeah, man! Great red carpets coverage on.
11 p.m., they would have a 30-minute version of the show. Usually it was the interviews, a condensed version of the interviews, which were always amazing. And then at 11:30 was Wild on E, and that was incredible too for different reasons. That was hosted by the legend Brooke Burke, fellow Jew, by the way. And so was Howard Stern. But I absolutely adored it. And then he leaves K-Rock in the early 2000s and goes to Sirius. And this was a very surprising move because now he's behind the paywall. Subscription Sirius was nothing. And then everything got blown out of the water because he was able to be even more crass. He was always fighting with the FCC and the program directors, but now it became, the Wild West. and I will just say this regarding Howard. I have become, I think he's the greatest interviewer of my life. I don't know if there'll be anyone ever better than him. People sometimes got blinded by the hijinks, but his ability to break people down, make them feel so comfortable that they didn't even remember that they were on the air is a skill unlike any other broadcaster that I've seen possess. I do think he's lost some of the fastball in the last few years. I really think since the pandemic, he's lost some of the fastball. It happens. I think he's in his late 60s at this point, so he can't get away with...
Is he still on every day?
He's not on 71. Golly. The schedule has become less and less robust, so it's now like 3 days a week. But they replay. He's got 2 channels on Sirius 100 and 101. But if you listen to some of the stuff from 20 years ago or so, and I would just say this, I loved him so much as an interviewer, but also the show that he put together with the cast, with the Whack Pack, with Gary, with Fred, with Robin, of course. And it was when I was walking down the halls here on the 9th floor back in the AOL days in 2009, I saw they had a room with a camera up top, and I was like, holy crap, like we could record a show and it could be like the Howard Stern show. It could be a radio show, but also recorded, because that was revolutionary in its own right. And so I 100% said, like, this is my version of the Howard Stern show. And then the goal was always, the reason why I always wanted to have other voices on the show was because of his show. And other people have adopted that. You know, you see it with McAfee in the sports world. You see it with McAfee, with Lebitard, with Eisen, with Patrick. Those are the top ones. Make no mistake about it. They are all copying Howard Stern. He was the first that really popularized the genre of speaking to the producers, of having multiple people involved. Like the idea of you know, I don't mean to just label you with this, Frank, but like of the audio guy being a character on the show, that didn't happen before Howard Stern. It was revolutionary, and those were the best parts. Like the interviews were incredible, but the camaraderie and then sometimes like the drama between them, the best parts. And you know, I'd like to think that we have our own little version of that here.
Better version.
Yeah, but
certainly the drama. Certainly.
Oh, yeah, we definitely lean into that one.
I do highly recommend on a cold winter's night to watch Private Parts. It's actually incredibly inspiring.
It is really good. Awesome soundtrack. Great sense of humor. You should really watch it, Connor.
Yeah.
Does he play himself?
What's it on?
Yes.
Yeah.
He plays himself.
Oh, it's a movie. It's a biopic.
It's a biopic, yes. Only movie he's ever done. He was outstanding. It was
really good.
It was shocking how good.
Remember the opening scene? He's on the phone to the girl or whatever.
Yeah.
I remember that.
No, that's not the opening scene, but yeah, I do remember that scene.
Oh, that
that
was with Jenna Jameson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, was it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that really happened. All of this happened. Yes, when she was having an orgasm on the air.
I can't remember
And this was on terrestrial radio, like 97.9 FM, on NBC radio. It was crazy, but he took chances. God bless him. Connor from Canada. Hey, Ariel, why is the UFC punting on 312? Does it have anything to do with DDP? The fact that it's in Sydney or something else, this card compared to 311 is laughable. I don't think that they're punting. I mean, not every card is going to be stacked. And by the way, some people, like, we were talking about how, you know, shortage, this and that, that's been kind of the theme this week. Let me be very clear. The top 2 fights are great. And I will go out and say this, like, give me this card over a fight night at the Apex any day of the week. I agree with Zhang Weili. The co-main event to me is infinitely more interesting than the main event. She is right. She called it the real main event. I agree with that. And I know some people don't agree with me, but Zhang Weili versus Tatiana Suarez, especially the Tatiana Suarez part of it, where we thought by now she would be like, you know, champion for 3 years. She's well on her way in 2019. She gets the serious neck injury. And here we are almost 6 years later, and she hasn't fought for a belt yet, let alone won the belt. Thank God she made it to the fight, because we had concerns. She didn't fight last year after being the comeback fighter of the year prior. It's unbelievable. Zhang Weili, as of right now, I saw this from John Anik, is the underdog going into this fight. And this would be just the second time in her UFC career. First time was her title fight against Jessica Andrade, when no one thought she had a chance in that fight. Remember, the story in that fight was this fight is happening in China, and it feels like a gimmick title fight. And she went out there and completely annihilated Jessica Andrade. This would be the first time since that fight, and just the second time in her UFC career, that she is the underdog, and she has looked pretty damn good as of late. Give me that fight over the main event any day. And the main event is fine, and I ultimately think DDP wins in more impressive fashion this time around. I could give you predictions on these fights because these guys aren't coming on the show, so there's no repercussions. I'm just being 1,000% honest. None of them are coming on the show. Actually, just other than Zhang. Tatiana won't come on anymore because of her new manager. DDP, I still don't understand why he doesn't come on, because if there's a lot of revisionist history, he was on like 4 times after our deep dive into his relationship with the Izzy and the feed and then the beef there. But I guess things change when you become champion. Sean Strickland doesn't come on ever since I 10-7'd him after he claimed that I wasn't a real MMA fan. I think DDP, puts an exclamation point. You disagree with that, PT?
I disagree with which part?
Oh, you said wow when I said...
no, Tatiana Suarez.
Sorry. I thought you were saying wow about me saying that I think DDP...
No, I agree with that.
You think he wins?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the Izzy fight, he's going to come on a lot from that because he had to put up with the best version of Izzy, I thought, for at least a couple of rounds, and then he came through it. Been very honest about it. Look, I underrate. I think I do underrate Strickland, and I really went ham before the Adesanya fight, and I was like, he hasn't got a hope, and then he absolutely schooled him, so he's capable of it. I just favor DDP in this one.
GC, what do you think?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna have to think on it a little bit more.
Are you got any action on this?
I might have some action. I'm very interested in that Zhang line flipping. She opened like a -175, came all the way down and flipped.
That appeals to you. It's like
GC.
Is that your H-Dow?
Oh yeah, I think she's a very good chance.
Did you do one last week?
I don't think I've done one since the Katie Taylor.
There was like an unofficial one
back in 2022, and I knocked it out of the park. I retired.
No, Robert Whitaker was your H-Down.
No. By the way, this is from your boy Lanzi. Shout out.
Oh. Is he one of our boys, or is that the name?
Literally, his name is your boy Lanzi, but he's a ringer MMA staple.
We met him, I think.
Yeah.
You met him. All right, so he is your boy. Your boy Lindsay. All right, shut up.
We need an update on the apartment situation that gave GC the Liam Neeson stare.
Oh, shit, yeah.
I mean, there's really not much of an update at the current juncture. Banks have gotten involved. I had a pretty serious talking to on Friday. Definitely let out some of that anger on Friday. So right now I'm just sitting and waiting. I mean, it's going to work out in my favor. The worst case scenario is I go to court and win. But yeah, it's a whole ordeal.
Wow, we're talking court here?
I mean, small claims court.
Okay.
It all goes back to paying down like a security deposit with a cashier's check, and I have proof of them cashing it, and they say
this is some shady business. We need to get out of here.
It's dicey.
Hashtag Connor did nothing wrong.
It's dicey.
Yeah.
A re-signing will definitely not be happening.
Mason. Hey, Ariel, if you get in a fight, which of the crew are you tagging in for help?
Who, me?
Andy. Loyal.
Hey.
It's a good choice.
Yeah. Salt of the earth, loyal.
Hard to disagree.
She's not running for the hills. She doesn't mind rolling up the sleeves.
We're all in.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Let's see. There it is. Not sure if that was on the air or not, but
It was.
okay, yes.
My favorite.
Danny. Hi, gang. The phrase fraud checked is getting thrown around a lot lately, but let's not forget that mysterious Frank's big fraud check on Dylan Dennis when he wore an Apex Twin t-shirt to the studio. Apex. Oh, yeah. When asked about it, Dylan had no idea what Frankie Boy was talking about, and he laughs.
And he brings up a good point. That was pretty disappointing. But
what's the but?
I give him a pass. He grabbed it because he thought it looked cool. He didn't know that it was representing an actual.
It does have cool artwork,
Yeah.
Apex, in fairness. So,
by the way, it's not necessarily fraud check, or maybe he does reference fraud check. Back on, I think
such
it
a
was,
Dennis move, by the way. Oh my god, wearing an Apex tee. Oh my god, man.
It's sort of like my daughter, who I think it's from like Zara. My wife got her like a Nirvana t-shirt and a Rolling Stone, and she has no idea. It's very cute. But is that the same as Dylan Dennis wearing an Apex t-shirt?
Nah, it's a bit different, man.
Okay.
When you see your daughter
Talbot
wearing
was
a
on the
Nirvana
show.
shirt, are you
I'm
like,
like,
name every album? When was the first concert you went to?
Tell me about Smells Like Teen Spirit right now. Hum it for me. Hum it. Ding, ding, ding. Ding, 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 ding.
Elaine skilled someone one night. She was wearing a Pink Floyd t-shirt, and some bloke walked up to her in a bar and tried to hit her with that one. Oh, but you don't know any of her songs.
Those are the
This
worst.
is in Ireland, right?
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Is there anything worse than like the people who wear the Ramones t-shirt and someone's like, oh, what do you know about Joey Ramone? What do you know about the Sex Pistols?
What's funny?
Oh, I thought that was for Ray Ramone.
It was Ray, Joey.
They all had the last name Ramone.
There's a whole bunch of them. Yeah, they're brothers. Were they brothers?
I want to be sedated.
Came on the show and had Aphex Twin playing behind him, so that's an OG who knows what he's talking about.
Yeah, old
put
soul.
him with Dylan.
So what about this tweet from Darren Till? Darren Till had a very long tweet, sort of talking about this whole fraud check. I don't know, this thing that is said a lot after someone loses. I wanted to post that picture. You know that picture of the guy that people post on top when it's like the worst person in the world says something that you agree with?
Oh yeah.
You know that guy? I wanted to quote tweet it with that, but I was like,
that was good.
We've been there, done that with Darren. Do we have that tweet from Darren? Or is it long gone? It might be long.
It's gone.
Is it gone?
Jordan's efforting.
I actually thought it was a great tweet.
No, he's got it.
He's got it?
Yeah, the efforting worked out. We're circling back now.
Thank you. I have just read a comment on an MMA page saying the downfall. Oh, yeah, this is another one. The downfall of Israel Adesanya needs to be studied. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, I think.
A lot of exclamation points.
Can everyone on here who is not an absolute moron actually understand that statement? I'm trying so hard to understand it, but can't. I'm so confused. What downfall? I've seen people comment about downfalls and studies, all that shit, like the downfall of Darren Till needs to be studied. Same thing as fraud checked in many respects. Same sentiment. I get that. I should have excelled more in the UFC than I did, but some certain factors didn't let me. He continues. But now I swear I cannot even fathom that I've just seen a comment saying Israel Adesanya's downfall needs to be studied. Me and Izzy aren't friends. I wouldn't even say I'm his biggest fan outside the octagon. But that's got fuck all to do with what that man has achieved in this sport. He was a fucking wrecking machine at middleweight. No one could beat him. Literally at one stage, he looked unbeatable in his title reign. People only cried for the fight between me and him because of styles, but facts are facts. He was fucking ruining everyone. He made Paulo Costa look like a baby, who, by the way, had a war with Yoel Romero. He absolutely bodied Robert Whittaker. Izzy was an absolute wrecking machine in his day. He is, without a doubt, one of the middleweight GOATs, and it's not even up for debate. In fact, he can lose his next 5 fights, and it wouldn't change a fucking thing on his GOAT status. He continues. Well, I mean, I got to say, Darren's cooking here. I love this. Yeah. But these today kind of MMA fans are so fucking dumb, stupid, IQ of about 10, say these things, I just look and think, oh my effing God, hope is lost. Gang of absolute morons. I'm in utter disbelief by it. Sorry all of you for the big-ass rant, but fuck me. A man like Izzy should be worshipped among MMA fans in the UFC. He's literally one of the all-time greats. You don't have to like him. No one gives a fuck, in fact. But we pay to watch fighting. And if it's fighting we are talking about, MMA as per se, Izzy was one of the best. Problems nowadays is all these dumb cunts on here let their emotions take over the facts of the matter. So if someone doesn't like a fighter's personality, they say they are shit. Prime example, Colby Covington. You all hate him, so you all say he's shit, he's this and that. Colby Covington is a top-tier fucking division wrestler. The motherfucker runs up mountains. He lives and breathes the sport. An absolute savage. Cardio for days like I've never seen. But because he acts like a complete fool, everyone likes to say he's shit acting on their personal emotions towards him. Yous are all effing dumb. Dumb as fuck. Okay. Oh. Over and out.
Would have edited the Colby part out of the back there. It would have been fine without that, you know what I mean?
I read that entire thing on Saturday night and got fired up.
I actually loved it.
It's very
I'm being
well
serious.
said.
I read the entire thing on Saturday night and got fired up.
It's very well said, but I do think the point is being missed here on Darren's part.
Okay.
Which is that these people are not being for real. Nobody actually thinks Israel Adesanya got fraud checked. They are just saying that to elicit reactions like Darren Till's. There is nobody sitting there going,
we don't care.
Israel Adesanya actually was a fraud. Nobody actually believes that. There's not one person. The people who are saying that are trolling and eliciting this response.
I disagree.
They can't possibly think it. Like
I disagree.
He's an innovator striking in the
There's
sport.
Nobody.
There's 100%. By the way, you always have to consider the source. And I have to remind myself this as well when I see some shit and I'm like, this could very well be a 14-year-old kid in between classes on his way to art class while picking boogers out of his nose. And he's like, he's just been watching MMA for 6 months. And he's like, this is the guy you guys were talking about? He sucks. They don't even know who Paulo Costa is. They never even heard of him because he hasn't fought since June and they just started watching in September.
Yes. That is actually who it is.
He may actually be responding to those people. But I do believe that there are people who say this and believe it. Now, again, consider the source. No one who knows anything about fighting, to Darren's point, believes this or says it. I don't actually think anyone who believes in MMA ever says anything like this.
Yeah.
Broad checks. But the other thing is, what I thought you were going to say is, this isn't an MMA problem. People say fraud checked about a million different things. They say so-and-so's downfall needs to be studied about a million different people. It's just a sign of the times. Times are changing in front of our eyes.
That person, even that young person who never saw them, knows there's a reason why historically they are ranked very highly, right? Even if you started watching MMA today and your first fight was watching Israel Adesanya versus Nasruddin Imavov, there's enough of the storytelling that they would know, oh, this guy has a legacy. Let me go look at what his legacy is. Oh, shit, he had this many title defenses. He's great. You don't need to have seen it to know that. But the funnier, trollier thing to do is to just ignore all that and be like, God, he sucks. Downfall needs to be studied. None of them believe this shit. It's all just to elicit this. And now we're talking about it. Darren Till talked about it. The trolls always win. The trolls win. Because we're coming from a genuine place. We love it. Darren Till has an affinity for Israel Adesanya, even though he personally said, like, I could do with or without him, because he knows how important he is to the sport, because he has reverence for what he accomplished. That 14-year-old kid doesn't give a fuck. He just wants to troll. And he did it. And it took 2 seconds, and he never thought about it again afterwards. And meanwhile, Darren Till spending an hour, maybe 10 minutes, writing this thing out.
Everyone stop chatting shit.
I like to think that was just a stream of consciousness.
Yeah, maybe
he didn't make one correction to anything.
Yeah.
He was just typing.
I love
hit send and then toss the phone out.
And
that went back to whatever he was doing.
This took him several hours, and he came back to it still 5
No, I think that took him like 3 minutes.
Yeah, he just wrote it out.
However long it takes him to type that many characters is how long it took.
But by the way,
he
he's
was
obviously
standing up.
correct.
He was standing up typing that.
He might have been on the toilet.
I actually like the idea that he didn't even type it. He just voice
noted
it. He just streamed that into the phone and then sent it off.
Exclamation point! Exclamation point! Exclamation point!
By the way,
Exclamation
that
point!
sound.
Exclamation point!
I thought that was a Darren Till drop. That sounded exactly like it.
Here's how I think it wouldn't be a voice note, because the use was spelled that way.
But even the questions.
I wonder if you'd be able to get it to spell use like that.
Breaking news, Frank.
Oh.
John Jones has tweeted that in 24 hours he'll be making a huge announcement, and still. Do we have...
What's the line on it being a fight?
Come on.
Is it?
This is either he's fighting Tom Aspinall and we're about to get the announcement, or it's a meme coin.
He signed a gambling partnership or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's no in between.
The John Jones
3 days
The
ago.
Bones Jones coin has just dropped.
Can you? Is it possible in 30 seconds to explain the meme coin thing to me? What is the meme coin? Like I hear about people.
Meme coins are very transactional, quick hit cryptocurrency that people are hoping will quickly gain value, and then they can dump it and then get rid of it. It's just joke coins.
Is this what happened to the Haktua girl?
Haktua.
Yeah. I haven't seen her since.
So, are all meme coins frauds?
It's not fraud.
It seems to me it is.
What it is you get a bunch of people who are buying into the coin. The price goes up, and then everybody tries to make money quick. That's what it is.
Wow.
Just don't want to get rugged, bro.
You don't want to be the one getting that meme coin at the top, because then you're just going to lose. It's just gambling. It's just quick hit gambling.
Frank knows. Frank's CoffeeZilla's #1 fan.
How about Helwani coin? Let's do it.
Yeah, right.
Nose coin.
I want nothing to do with all of that. I do want to give a shout out to my he's my brother's nephew. His name is Evan. He's very well versed in this world.
Son?
No, my brother's nephew, but on his wife's side. So technically not, a family member, but I consider him family, but I don't even know what to call that. Is that a cousin? Is that a nephew by, I don't know. Anyway,
my nephew, my brother's nephew is my cousin.
I don't know. It feels like a cousin.
What the
Math
fuck,
on
boys?
Anyway.
Anyway, a lad called Evan. Go ahead.
Yeah, his name is Evan Solomon. Shout out to him. University of Michigan. Actually went to us to the PFL show at Madison Square Garden, if you remember.
Shout out, Evan. I remember.
And he's big into this world. And when the UFC account got hacked, remember that last week?
Yeah.
2 weeks ago? He called me thinking that the UFC was starting a coin. Because he's like huge in this crypto world. I have no idea. He runs some sort of organization at Michigan. It's all very impressive, but I obviously have no idea. And I'm like, trust me, this is a hack job. This is not a real thing. And then he told me afterwards that just as a result of that hack job, which I think lasted 30 minutes, it was up there or something, the people behind it made millions of dollars, some way, somehow. Like it shoots it up.
Yes, if
and then it comes
everybody
crash. And
thought
then
the UFC was really selling that coin or had created that coin, and all the people who, like your brother's nephew, thought it was real, then bought that, the value of that coin now goes through the roof. And then the scammers, the people who hacked the UFC account, sell it at that maximum number. And now they've made all that money that everybody invested into it. And the people who bought it get nothing. They get screwed.
Fascinating. I know nothing about this.
It seems so fucking stupid. Like that is literally what it is. Like why
I do have
why
the
would
question,
you risk buying?
I got to question Evan here for not being able to see through that transparent fraud. You know, I mean, like...
No.
You think that the UFC
he didn't buy it. He just wanted to ask. He said everyone was talking about it at school, and he's like, let me ask the guy. And I was like, of course. I don't even have to look into this. Listen, I guess it's a thing that happens. Who the hell knows? Anyway, Coleman T asks, was Becky Lynch crashing Rhea Ripley's interview a work or a shoot? Time to come clean and tell us. 1,000% shoot, brother. What are you, crazy? You think we allow such a thing to happen to our show to ruin the sanctity of this program? What about Damian Priest on Monday Night Raw after saying, I saw you on the MMA Hour? Remember that?
Saying that too smoothly. He's like, you all right? I saw you earlier on the
throughout, man.
MMA Hour. Damian Priest is a legend for that. Every time I see him now, I'm like, there he is. There he is.
Tom
boy.
Tom Aspinall's number one.
Tom Aspinall.
Oh, that's right.
Best friend.
Aspinall blew him off.
No. Best
Stadium.
friends. Best friends.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Oh, we haven't heard that in a while. YFG94, Georgia Connor, not looking past Sean Brady, but would you ever consider going up against a fan of the show on the Aviron Bike Challenge?
I have one challenge in front of me, and that's Sean Brady. I'm not
well
focused on
done.
anything else.
That's right. That's right.
That's smart. Another one from YFG, Interstellar is my favorite movie of all time. And in that movie, there's a scene where basically he visits a planet in which 1 hour there equals 7 years back on Earth. Georgia Connor could explain it if needed. Turns out he missed 23 years, if I'm not mistaken, back on Earth. He goes through the video messages he has received over the years, and he sees how much his kids have grown. Jesus, that almost made me cry reading that. So with that in mind, would you rather have Buffalo Bills, New York Knicks, and Nottingham Forest all become champions in their respective sport for Forest 2015 Leicester City style, but only know through video messages in which your kids are celebrating each team's victory? This is going to make me cry. Or witness each team's victory, be there as well on the best seats of the house, and be a part of the locker room celebrations, family included, if you want as well. But you have to take an uppercut from prime Mike Tyson. Don't worry.
I think he's taking it.
Don't worry, you'll survive and make a full recovery. Golly, could you imagine?
Adding in the stipulation of you'll survive and make a full recovery makes it a no-brainer. Makes it a no-brainer.
Take a shot.
Right.
Do you get that before? Do you get that before or after?
Yeah, right. You're sitting.
If you get it after, then you don't get to enjoy everything as much. If you get it before, then
after.
you get it over with.
No, but if you get it before, you're sitting there concussed, not able to.
No. It'll take
Gets it
years
before,
to
die
win
a
all
happy
these
man.
championships.
You know,
Yeah.
Connor, did you tell
Years. Jeez.
Ariel about the guy who woke up from surgery and saw the Luka trade and was like,
Oh yeah, no. Rick showed that to me. Some guy was had appendicitis and he was KO'd during the Luka trade. He was a Mavs fan and he woke up and his family was like, Luka got traded to the Lakers for Anthony Davis, and he's like, what?
He looks at
what's going on?
He looks at his vitals to make sure he's like alive right now.
Oh my God.
They're like, what do you think? And they zoom in on his face and he's just like, and the lights are on and no one's home. He has no idea what's
Did you
going
guys see the press conference? Did you see any of that?
Yeah.
Like, you could just see he is fuming. Like he is not.
Yeah.
He is not hiding any of this. And then the shot of him on the bench next to LeBron just seems wrong. It feels like an all-star game. It's like what has happened here? How could they have allowed this to happen?
he is one of the top 3 players on the planet by any measure, right? Like you can put him somewhere in there. And he was traded overnight for just like a really, really solid all-star. Like it never happens.
And nothing else. Nothing that sets you up for the future. Like, could you imagine if they would have went to the whole league and said, Luka's on the block. Give us your best offer.
Crazy.
Could you imagine what the offers would be?
First-round picks.
Well, the next day or 2 days later, De'Aaron Fox went for like 3 first-round picks. Luka's worth 15.
Has he played yet?
No,
not yet.
They said maybe next week. He has. He just appeared yesterday at the presser, and then he was on the bench. I was talking about this with Connor before the Monday show. Like, I think there's maybe 2 or 3 players that their team wouldn't trade him for, like Wemby, maybe Wemby, Jokic, and maybe SGA.
Yeah, but you'd have a conversation on nearly any of them. Maybe Wemby's the only one you don't even have the conversation.
The rest,
yeah.
Knicks are making that trade.
Yep.
Sixers are making that trade. Rockets are making that trade. Every single team is making that trade. And not only that, they're giving away the freaking whole surplus of draft picks from now until 2045. These morons had to give up 1 pick. The Lakers had to give up 1 pick to these morons. I got to tell you, people joke all the time about me being fair weather because of the soccer thing when I've had to repeat time and again, like the Leicester City thing was a joke for the show. The Everton thing was a joke for the show. I am the poster boy for sticking with a team through thick and thin. That's why it hurts a little bit. My damn avatar on Twitter is a picture from me in 2007 wearing a Montreal Expos hat, a team that doesn't even exist. I've stuck through the Bills and Knicks lean years. If I'm a Mavs fan, I'm considering it.
You're considering opting out of fandom.
Fuck you guys.
Oh,
yeah.
They let Brunson go as well, didn't they?
They've
been on a.
They let him walk out the door for nothing.
Now, to be fair, they made a good. Yeah, they let him walk. They made a good Kyrie Irving trade. That has paid off for them, but the rest of these moves have been horrible.
It's baffling. It's truly baffling.
The only thing I can't figure it out. I've heard 100 podcasts on this thing now.
Yeah.
I cannot for the life of me figure out how this happened. The only thing I could imagine, the only thing that actually would make sense in my head is if they knew something medically that we don't know. That's the only explanation I can come up with.
I heard people talking about his weight, like, oh, he's 270.
Nah, he looked fine. He looked fine.
Doesn't matter.
Bro, all of a sudden,
brilliant.
He actually kind of looked like in better shape all of a sudden.
He looked fine.
It looked like he hadn't eaten.
He got in the lab.
Someone said on a show I was listening today, they said it would be like the Baltimore Ravens trading Lamar Jackson for Kyler Murray.
No, it's for Deshaun Watson. It's like
No, it's not Kyler Murray because it would have to be someone older than Lamar.
I don't mind the Deshaun Watson shout.
No, but Deshaun Watson's done.
AD's too good.
AD's too good. Yeah. There isn't. To me, it's
Baker Mayfield. It's somebody who's like still good.
To me, it's like it's Josh Allen. He is Josh Allen, and it's I don't know who the AD one is.
Baker's a good show. Who said that?
I said, I mean, it's like a guy who's good, but not going to take you to the promised land.
Yeah.
But meanwhile, you're trading a generational guy.
I still can't find
at 26.
25.
Well, he's about to be 26 in February. Like,
I still can't find the comp. I made the comparison to Gretzky because that was something that shocked the nation. But there were rumors that he was going to get sold, and he had already won 4 Stanley Cups, so not quite the same. Someone brought up Mookie Betts. That was shocking when he got traded from the Red Sox to the Dodgers. And then there's like the ones from back in the day, like the Luis Figo one. I know was shocking.
Oh shit!
Beckham leaving.
No,
he was want away.
To me, it would be akin to PSG. But there aren't really trades in soccer. But like if they would have traded Mbappe like 2 years ago, Mbappe's only 26.
Crazy one is Barcelona selling Maradona to Napoli back in the day when he was the best player in the world and nobody knew Napoli had any money and it turned out the mafia paid for it.
Yeah. But again, in that one you just get money back, right? Like in soccer there are no trades. It's not really a European thing, right? It's really just a North American thing, trades, right? Like I don't think in Australian rugby,
like there is trades, but they're never like it's like
not
a
like
couple of
this.
youth
let's
players.
let's put it in MMA terms. Like the easiest thing.
Oh, I love this. Yeah.
People have been asking me this question, and I can't think of it.
It's Patchy Mix. AD is Patchy Mix.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. What do you mean no? Yes. Who's the best available free agent outside? Who's the best available non-UFC?
Do you know what it is?
AD's
It's
an NBA
Dakota
champion.
Dicheva for Raquel Pennington. That's who it is.
Patchy Mix is a champion too. Who's the best available person outside of the UFC?
He's the G League champ.
Pennington. He's got a belt. Older age.
Come on.
I like that. I like that one. PC.
Thank you, GC. I mean, they just let that one go.
Yeah, they let it fly off for Patchy Mix and whoever they're talking
And nobody.
Well, by the way, someone asked me this. RM, what do the boys think about this trade? Dakota and Patchy for Chandler and Moreno.
That's not bad, actually.
Nah.
Well, I mean,
I don't think it's a great deal.
UFC are winning.
Yes, I don't think it's a great deal for PFL.
PFL doesn't have the leverage.
I don't think Mike Chandler's saying.
But there's no like how many more fights does Chandler have left?
Yeah, that's the thing.
And also, they don't even.
UFC
By the way, no, it's a shit trade. They don't even have a flyweight division. They don't even have a flyweight division. What are they going to do with Moreno?
The UFC is only going to be willing to give back something that they don't want anymore. They don't want to give up something they want.
Moreno's just going to get to PFL and just start tweeting, "Cut me at Don Davis. Get me out of this organization."
By the way, I dig the Rose and a heavyweight. Rose and Derek Lewis. I think that's a good deal.
I like it.
Rose and Shamil Ghazi.
Can you make it happen? Call Don and let's get this thing done.
And then we get Gadziev versus Ngannou in 2026.
Gadziev.
Medikowski did write a super chat right now just saying that the trade is Josh Allen for Matt Stafford.
Don't hate it.
That's not.
Matt Stafford's a little
bad,
too
yeah.
old, but it's a good shot.
Well, how old is Matt Stafford?
38.
36.
Oh, okay.
36.
Yeah, so he's a little too old.
30.
Here's the point. There is no comparison because it's one of the dumbest
It is one of the
transactions
dumbest.
in sports history.
Yeah.
Legitimately.
It's going to be a great documentary. 30 for 30, like the King's Ransom back in the day.
Josh
with
Allen for
Gretzky.
Jared Goff?
No. This is the thing. These guys are all too bad. Like it doesn't.
And for the rest of the show, we will be doing this just constantly.
By the way, you're right. There is no comparison. There's no equal because it's that dumb. We'll get to the super chats, by the way, at the end. So keep them coming for now. Pudding Boy, hey, what up? Wondering,
I just like that name.
Wondering if you can. Well, wondering if you can clarify your stance on Bryce Mitchell in this regard.
From Pudding Boy.
On Monday, you first said that Bryce shouldn't be suspended or cut. However, a few minutes later, you said that the UFC were being cowards by not doing anything. So I'm just a little confused on your overall stance. I don't actually think I said that they were cowards. I just said they've already told us that they're not going to do anything, and so I don't expect them to do anything. And that's that. Now, like I've also said, it's not for me to say the UFC should do X, Y, and Z. It's for the owners of the company to say, do we want to be associated with this type of rhetoric? Do we want to be associated with this type of vitriol, this type of hatred, this type of bigotry? And they're okay with it. That's what they've told us. So where's the confusion? Also, and thank you for bringing this up, you kept referring to free speech as being a part of the Second Amendment when it's in fact part of the First. Yes, it is a part of the First, and I'm learning, okay? The Second Amendment, the right to bear arms. The First Amendment...
Love that you're waving the flags around.
And by the way...
What is the First Amendment? Go ahead.
Yeah, you know what? I actually want to read it because I think that there's something very interesting in the First Amendment.
Free speech?
Yes, and...
Religion?
Come on! Give me that flag.
Freedom of assembly?
It
Green
is
card.
the First Amendment of the United States Constitution protects A, freedom of speech,
Very nice.
religion,
Hmm.
the press,
That's a good one.
and the right to assemble and petition the government. Just saying.
Thanks, sir.
Just saying. Nate fought a bear. Say his name and he appears. I believe in Mysterious Frank. ... Finally uploading the videos to Spotify this week. By the way, Frank, why is it on you to do this?
Yeah, I have no idea.
Also, Ariel, given the recent news of Myles Garrett wanting out of Cleveland, are you of the mind that the Buffalo Bills should go after him? Sure. Or maybe Max Crosby? Would love that.
Oh, is he up as well?
Yeah, I believe he's...
Wow.
By the way, who goes to more UFC events, Max Crosby or Jamal Hill? I mean, it's every event. You see those guys
I
there.
don't think anyone goes to more UFC events than Max Crosby.
It's unbelievable.
I was watching the Tough Season with McGregor and Chandler. There was a fight, and then in the background, there's no fans, but there's Max Crosby sitting there in the bleachers watching tough fights.
Yeah, it's...
What a life.
He's a diehard, man. He's a diehard.
It is. I mean, like sometimes he's like in Edmonton and stuff, right?
Yeah, he's all over the gaff.
Okay, here's Bobby Knuckles boxing. Who's a long one, but let's see if we can get through it. Disappointed in becoming increasingly detached from the MMA community. A longer question series of questions. Apologies in advance, but this is necessary. Okay, let's give him the benefit of the doubt. At what point do we stop discussing and promoting Conor McGregor's interests? In December, a jury of his peers found that he, on a balance of probabilities, raped a woman. The most heinous of crimes, and it is no longer an allegation. In law, it is a fact that he has committed such an act. Yet, we seem to have moved on, excused it. You still discuss him on your show and talk about his quote-unquote comeback. Just this week, he has shown his true colors again, tweeting several racist remarks. Are we going to move on again? Are we going to let it slide and continue to promote him despite his disgusting transgressions? Bryce Mitchell was lambasted for his inexcusable or inexplicable comments last week, and I would imagine the only time we'll hear his name mentioned on your show again is to discuss when his next fight is announced. To express disgust, I imagine, and rightfully so. Dana White was recorded slapping his partner in a nightclub. We discussed it for a while. We moved on. It's like it never happened. McGregor, Mitchell, White, these people need help to be need to be held accountable within the MMA community. Their actions tarnish the generally good reputation that the MMA community has strived to build in recent years. We can't use past achievements to excuse them anymore. At what point will you, the MMA community and media, finally put a firm foot down and stop allowing these individuals from ruining the sport? You had me up until that last line. How are we allowing them to ruin the sport? I can't fire Dana White. He is who he is. He's the most powerful man in the sport. And so are you suggesting that we don't talk about Dana? That we just ignore him? The most powerful and influential person in the sport. Do you suggest that we just completely, the power player, the decision maker, the man who goes up there as the face of the company, the only person that speaks on behalf of the company, unless it's Mark Shapiro to investors, do you want us to just ignore him? It doesn't work that way. And by the way, that's not how journalism works. Do you want us to ignore Conor McGregor? It doesn't work that way. And that's not how journalism works. I don't get to decide who's making news. So you could say, oh, stop talking about, McGregor until he fights. Yeah, that's a fair argument, and I'll listen to it. But he is who he is. He's an important person. And if that's the mindset, then boxing writers should have stopped talking about Mike Tyson when he was sent to jail, when he was convicted of rape. Did they? No. And
Netflix just put him in a massive event.
20 years later, they still talk about him. And they have made him into Uncle Mike. He's beloved. So I don't think it's on. I think our duty, if you're talking to us as media, is to cover people fairly, is to cover people accurately, is to try and cover them without emotion or bias. Obviously, on shows like this, we talk about the news, we talk about the facts, but we also weigh in with opinion. It's a tricky dance, and this is 2025. And obviously, someone like myself is doing the dance of facts, reporting, opinion, interviews, relationships. It's all one big pile. Now, there are some people who just like a Shams or a Woj, right, in basketball. They just do the reporting and the facts. And then there's guys like Stephen A. Smith who kind of just do the opinion. Less of the reporting, maybe a little bit of reporting, but more about the analysis and the facts. And then there's other people who do this. There's not a ton that do all three. I'm not giving myself the old Barry H here, but it's a unique thing. And that's why I always used to say, like, I don't want to be called the Woj of MMA or the Schefter of MMA, because I don't think that's just what I do. And that's just essentially what they do. They do it incredibly well, and they get paid incredibly well for it. But there's a dance here. And so I try my best. Some people don't like it. Some people don't think it's enough. Sometimes people don't think it's hard enough. The thing that I see a lot of is like, why do you choose to talk about this but not this? Why do you choose? Well, there's only so many things that we could talk about. There's only so many hours in the day. I don't want to just focus on the controversies. I don't want to just focus, but I would like to think between my show, between the Thursday show, between the Friday show, and between the website, that we do a pretty damn good job of covering everything. Now, if you always want this face to be talking about everything, then, I try my best on the 12 or so hours that we give you on Monday through Wednesday. I don't know. I think we cover everything quite thoroughly.
You make some great points. And one thing, a few things I want to add. One, Shams and Woj, in addition to breaking news, also by the end of Woj's run, podcast, interview, like this is just the reality of media in 2025. There is no just like report the news and have no opinions and say nothing and do no other types of content. Secondarily, I think a lot of this stems from a confusion, and he mentioned the word promotion in there. There's a big confusion, and I see this often, between the difference in coverage and promotion. This vehicle is for coverage. This is not a promotion machine. The UFC is the promoter. They are the ones. So in interviewing these fighters, yes, there is an element of them having a platform and attention that is being granted to them, certainly. But the idea is not to promote, right? We are not sitting here as Conor McGregor does not have fights and going, gee, isn't Conor McGregor a swell guy, and trying to push the narrative about Conor McGregor. We are not promoting Conor McGregor. He has his own ability to do that. The UFC, who is his promoter, has the ability to do that. This is coverage. This is journalism. Last thing I'll say is this person who has asked this question, I know is coming from a genuine place. I can feel the pain of them as an MMA fan, and I struggle at times with this as well. But you asking the question is now raising this topic, is now bringing more attention to Conor McGregor, and is continuing this cycle. And it is also an indication of what the interest of the MMA fan is, right? The people who are consuming the content, they are interested in the story. They are interested in Conor McGregor. You are interested in Conor McGregor by asking us about Conor McGregor. This cycle does not just begin and end with Ariel decides, I want to talk about Conor McGregor, and I will talk about Conor McGregor. There is an appetite. There is a discourse that happens amongst the community that this is something that is topical, that this is something that people are particularly interested in. Again, it is not a moral judgment to talk about Conor McGregor's next fight. It is not to say Conor McGregor is a good guy or a bad guy. It is to talk about what is happening in the news at the time. And so there's a lot of trickiness around that. It is not easy. It is not a great balance. I think you, Ariel, do a great job of it, and I think you laid out this perfectly. But don't confuse promotion for coverage. The media's job is not to promote. The media's job is to cover. And so you have to be clear on that distinction and be aware of that when you're talking about this.
And also, like we went like live seconds after the verdict came in for that civil court case. Like we have covered this meticulously, all these situations. So I don't think it's.
And would you call that promotion? Right? I would not call that promotion. So no, that defeats the idea.
I'm very, since Uncrowned launched. I'm very proud of everything that we've done, really. And of course you could do things better, and of course you can nitpick, and you always try to do things better and evolve and improve. But I am personally proud, and I'm also proud of this, by the way. I'm proud of the fact that, like, you know, I look at some other channels and I look at some other content and some other shows, and we can lean all the way into this stuff. We could lean all the way into it. And yes, when you do lean all the way into it, you do see a return. But I'm proud of the fact that on a show like today, we're giving you Vinicius Oliveira. We're giving you Jasmine Jasudavicius. Show me other places that are doing that. We're trying to shine a light on the good of MMA. We're trying to introduce you to new characters, or to characters that may not be as well known, who may become champions one day. I think we're constantly doing that. Each and every week, each and every day, each and every show. And so there is that balance too. And there's actually a question, the following question that feeds right into it, where I'm going to skip what he said at the beginning. I'll go back to it. But he just said, this is from Jameson Ford. What are some of the good things going on in MMA that you guys could highlight? We've had so much bad recently. And that is, I think that's a sentiment that a lot of people feel like. I try to remind myself, don't be confused, or don't be distracted by, you know, the vocal minority that preys on this shit, and also the attention that some of this stuff will generate is fivefold, tenfold to what a great person Tom Aspinall may be, or the Dustin Poiriers of the world, or the Jasmines of the world. And so, yeah, off the top of my head, what are some great stories? I mean, I think this co-main event on Saturday is a great story. Tatiana Suarez has worked all the way to come back from cancer, from a serious neck injury, to finally fight for a title. This was someone who was well on her way to the Olympics. And who knows how she would have fared. And now she's getting to fight for a UFC title and getting a chance to change her life. That is a great story. Zhang Weili is a great story. The first Chinese-born UFC champion, still kicking it, who everyone thought, you know, didn't deserve a title fight. She didn't deserve a title fight. She didn't deserve to be in there against Jessica Andrade. And she beat her in like 51 seconds or something crazy like that several years back. Alex Pereira is a great story.
Leon Edwards.
Leon Edwards' comeback. Jack Della Maddalena. These people are very easy to root for. Arnold Allen. Paul Hughes. What a story he has become. There's a lot to like. And so you can get blinded. And that goes back to the Bryce Mitchell thing with how does the UFC want to be viewed? Do they want to be viewed as the place where this stuff, it's not about free speech, hate speech. How do you want to be viewed as a company? How do you want people to view you? Do you want to go further and further into this gutter? Do you want people to view you as the sport or the organization or the company where this stuff is tolerated? Or do you want to be viewed as the place that is home to the likes of Alex Pereira and Tom Aspinall and Leon Edwards and Merab and Alex Pantoja? How can you not love Alex Pantoja, for goodness sakes? How can you not feel good seeing that guy's success? Valentina Shevchenko and like I said, Zhang Wei Li. And there's Juliana Pena versus Kayla Harrison. How can you not love Kayla Harrison if you know anything about her story? There's a lot to be excited about.
Volkanovski. Another great guy.
Yeah. These are great. Max Holloway is coming back at some point. Gaethje Hooker is a tremendous fight. Charles Oliveira has turned around his life and is beloved. This is a guy who I don't think has ever done a single interview in English. And he's absolutely beloved. Kids say that they love him more than anyone. There's so many guys. Moicano, what a story that was. So anyway, that's some good stuff. Izzy versus Bo Nickel, 5-round main event. Josh Golden. Who says no?
Hell the fuck. If you're Izzy's manager, if you signed that fight, Tim, that would be crazy. He would never do that. That's the worst thing to do with him right now.
No, I agree with Pizzi. Please, no.
Papa Gio. What's up, GC and the boys? All right. I guess this is not for me. First time question asker. Do you think Conor is acting out to try to get out of his deal with the UFC so he can fight bare knuckle? Kanye West, for example, kind of did it to Adidas to get out of his contract. Did he try? I don't know if he tried to get out of the contracts. If I'm being honest, he lost billions of dollars. It's I haven't heard that theory before. Does anyone?
Oh, I've heard it. Yeah, I got a lot of that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That's an active conspiracy theory.
Is it?
No,
well,
I'm
it's
asking
ridiculous.
You,
oh,
I don't think that's.
No, it was something I put out. I can't remember. It was an article or something, and that. Oh, how do you not know this? Well, like, how do you not know that this guy's a brand and like his relationship with the UFC is just one facet to many plates he is spinning? That would be sacrificial. It would be like it would be cannibalizing the rest of his enterprise to simply do this to get out of his UFC deal. There's a lot more going on than just that for Conor. And I just think the things he said and the way he's gone about it are so bad that it wouldn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense as a play.
It doesn't make sense as a play also because, as we've kind of outlined here, there is no getting out of a UFC deal because they don't care what you say. So how would this get how would this get him out of a UFC deal?
Yeah,
nothing he's doing has gotten him out of a UFC deal.
Would it not just be to fight?
They're not letting him walk out the door.
That's how you
do
get out
the
of a
two fights
UFC
and then you bolt.
That's it.
Good day, Ariel. This is from Lloyd. Many moons ago, you were pulled up for your pronunciation of Volk. I do think that I've improved it. Do you guys think I've improved it?
I heard you call him Volk the other day, so I don't know.
Well, in recent times, Lloyd says that he noticed GC seems to pronounce Sean Strickland's name as Sean Strickton. Does GC have any comment on this? And he made
Sean Strickton?
Yeah.
There's no way.
There's no way.
All right.
There's no way. I need video evidence of this. That's
salacious. That's a salacious allegation against GC there.
This is great. This is great trolling.
All right.
Sean Strickton.
Is this like the GC version of the gout? Like
exactly
I've got the gout and he's just been assigned this random thing.
We should have just quit while we were ahead with the subway soliloquy.
All right.
It was truly unbelievable.
That was it. It's all gone down.
That
was the
of a veggie patty.
Sean Strickton.
Speaking of pronunciations, this is from the Iron Turtle. Get it? Anyone?
Oh, yeah, we get it.
Iron?
Yeah,
hi, Ariel. Could you play that GFL theme song one more time?
Yes. Please.
Frank says, I don't think I have it. Wow.
Ah!
What a disrespectful thing to do, Frank.
Is he Paul Bearer 1 or 2? There it is.
Never again.
Okay.
All right.
GC's just not
DJ
giving
just
it.
cut the
Well, what's
music.
the story, GC? You've just gone off the song completely. It doesn't
There's
move.
work to be done, Pete. There's work to be done.
This is the work.
If only that was the case.
Jack Ryan is asking about Kevin Holland versus Izzy as well. Did everyone
Book it,
forget?
book it.
Why does there seem
do
to
it.
be like a big
Book it.
momentum for this?
Yeah. I don't know.
I
we
would watch
already
it.
I
have
don't
a
hate
Kevin
it.
Holland fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have Holland.
Maybe Kevin Holland's 4th fight of the year can be.
Yeah. I like that.
I guess everyone missed the Gunnar Nelson thing.
Yeah, seems like it.
This is from Patrick McCrate. He asked.
Wait, hold on.
Yes.
Can I just say something?
Yeah.
Why does Kevin Holland have to fight every grappler who's ever lived? Why is this his lot in life? I don't understand how this keeps happening.
And like so high level gunny as
Yeah.
well. I think it's because he knocked out Jacare from his back that time.
Yeah,
So,
but
like,
every guy he faces is a black belt with insane grappling or wrestling.
take him down at
It
your
would be
peril.
a fun fight. But
Would
yes, by the way, I'd
What if
much
he
rather
gets taken down in 5 seconds?
I'd much rather see Kevin Holland versus Izzy than Kevin Holland versus Gunnar
Oh,
Nelson.
that one would be a fun
I also
fight.
love
Yes, I
that the
agree.
entire 2020s, unless I'm mistaken, Gunnar Nelson only fights on UFC London's. 2022,
Oh, yeah.
2023, and now 2025.
Oh man, he does it. He likes what he likes and he dislikes what he dislikes. That guy.
Maybe he
is
has a
one of
visa problem too.
There's
looked
no
into
way
that.
he has a visa problem.
Was there
He
a
just
London
doesn't wanna-
last year, or was it just Manchester?
It was just Manchester.
Yeah. So the recent UFC, the post-pandemic UFC Londons, those are the Gunnar Nelson cards.
Yeah.
I am down for
And he's
Izzy versus
2-0.
Holland.
And he's 2-0.
I'm down.
Well, he's one of the coolest guys, man. Honestly, Gunnar Nelson. He is the coolest motherfucker you
By the
could
way,
ever meet.
requests for a future fight feast. Eating sheep's
The
head
sheep's
with,
head?
with Gunnar Nelson.
I'm so down. Let's do sheep's head with Gunnar Nelson the same week we do
Reykjavik.
Mega Pizza with LokDog.
Oh man, we need to make a list of like spot with these guys.
Mega Pizza,
Yeah,
LokDog.
Mega Pizza, LokDog,
Head with
Boujou Man or whatever it's called with Paul Hughes.
Boojums.
Did we
Boojum's
establish if
burrito.
that was mayonnaise on that pizza? Because
Yeah, that was
I don't even want to
very
know
upset.
anymore.
nasty work.
Did it look like one was acai in like the top
Yeah,
right?
it was weird.
Looked like an
yes,
acai
it did.
pizza.
It did. Yeah.
And he said Pizza Hut. It reminded me of Cece's Pizza, if anyone knows what that is.
Don't put
No.
shame on Cece's Pizza. Come on.
It looks a little.
That was Peter Piper
I'd
work.
love some
Can I also
pizza
say,
right now.
guys, Pizza Hut in other countries is very different from Pizza Hut here. Same as KFC. KFC in Venezuela is prime.
Yes, Domino's as well, right? I feel like Domino's has a
Yeah.
higher Q rating in other countries.
And Papa John's, huge.
They love KFC in Australia. Remember Mark Hunt,
Mark
the
Hunt.
KFC king?
I may have.
You know, in Japan, that's what they eat on Christmas Day. They
What?
KFC.
Wow.
Millions of people go and get KFC in Japan on
I may
Christmas
have-
Day.
knows?
I may have told this story on air, but I definitely told it to GC earlier today. I was at UFC 237 in Brazil. Andrade knocks out, slams Rose. And
Oh, yeah.
I literally, from the arena, I'm going to the airport. So event ends, I'm literally going to the airport. I hop in my car, I get to the airport, and I'm starving because we've just worked this whole night. And I'm just like, oh my God, I'm going to eat something terrible right now and probably be sick to my stomach, and I'll just deal with it. I look around, I see a Pizza Hut. I'm like, all right, this is probably not going to sit well, but I'm just going to get Pizza Hut. Some of the best food I've ever had in my life. The Pizza Hut in Brazil's airport was like incredible, just absolutely incredible. So yeah, it's different. It's different out
Let's stick with the food theme. This is from Kai. This is for GC. Love the fight feast. The Philly one was the best yet. I said this to you guys personally, but my son Walter adored it. Like watching him watch it, it was like he's like, I want more of this. It was like him discovering his new favorite TV show. He loves cooking. He loves food. He loves watching food things. And he thought it was funny. There were some, if I'm being honest, a lot of swear
A lot of
words.
language, I know.
Really
I know.
is.
As I was going through the edit, man, I was
It's a lot
I was
of-
letting the F word just fly when I was
letting
in Philly.
it fly. It was-
Yeah, no. My mom texted me.
My question
Wait,
is,
before we move on,
yeah?
do we do like mac and cheese with Walter? Is that like a new?
Well, hear this. If you could choose to go to a city for a fight night based purely on fight feasts, where are you going and what's on the menu?
Good Lord, this is
Barcelona.
This is difficult. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
If we if we went to Spain for a Taporia championship bout and we got to eat beforehand, that's kind of a dream. Brazil wouldn't be bad.
Oh, get the acai. God.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Don't
If
have
they did
steakhouses.
a fight night in Japan, I wouldn't mind that either.
Oh, it's the best food I've ever had in my life.
Bro, you gotta go. You got from Montreal. You gotta go get the bagels
Wow,
and the poutine.
that was a heavy from Rick there.
Japan.
Rick says fuck
Oh,
Japanese
Japan
food. Oh, you were agreeing.
go-
You're
I'm
agreeing.
agreeing.
Oh, I thought you were
No, it wasn't like
Unbelievable.
it was like
Fight night in Japan, headlined by Kaya Sakura, Tatsuro Taira.
Nah, this is
in
what we
the
do.
co-main.
Fight night in Japan. We go to that spot in Las Vegas, 800 a pop, and you get the real deal.
As long as you're
Holyfield.
buying them there,
Yes.
brother.
that same
Oh,
sushi is $10.
Oh my
in,
god,
Japan.
I legit have dreams of that place. I'm not gonna lie, it's fantastic.
Is there a
Dreams of
sushi
Sushi.
documentary called that? Like
Jerry
I
Dreams of
dream-
Sushi.
Yeah, fantastic as well. My dad went there. Ariel, what did you think? This is from Patrick McCrate. What did you think of BC doing play-by-play and post-fight interviews during the Benavidez Morel fight? I thought he nailed it and really enjoyed your dynamic together on a few shows you've done together. I thought he did a great job. BC, by the way, is Brian Campbell of Morning Combat fame. He did a great job as the third man. It was Mauro Ranallo, Abner Mares, and Brian Campbell, sort of in that Max Kellerman, Larry Merchant, third man role to tell the story, but he knows his shit, and the post fights were great. So happy for him, and honestly, would love to see him do more of that. Okay, just a couple more here. This is from Aussie Jamal. He's asking me, as a proud native of the 51st state, were you a fan of the Canadian comedy show Kenny versus Spenny? My brother-in-law was. I watched it a little bit, but it wasn't my thing. I was more of a Peep Show guy. PT, please tell me. I don't know. Have we ever talked about Peep Show?
Peep Show is so good.
So fucking
Yeah, I
good,
love
right?
it, man.
God,
I want to rewatch it. You know, I keep seeing clips of it. It's been so long I watched it. I was like, I need to go back.
so good. Have you,
You know
guys
what I
ever heard of
watched
Peep
recently?
Show? The Americans over there. Have you guys heard of Peep Show?
Frank was actually shocked that you liked it.
Oh, so
So
good.
shocked.
So good.
So good.
Do you know what's out, Ariel? And I was thinking of you. I was watching it the other day. A documentary about Tom Green, like his how he came up in Canada. Really, really good. Because I only ever saw the MTV show.
Oh, is this
but,
the new one?
didn't
Is this the
realize-
new one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw a
it's
commercial
on-
for it.
Really good. I thought he was fucking hilarious back in the day.
This is the Tom Green Show. It's not the
It's not
Green
the
Tom
Green
Show. This is my favorite show. Because it is my show. It's a
Come
Tom
on.
Green Show. Come on, B2. Yeah. By the way, do you remember when he had testicular
Yeah, I
cancer?
was just thinking about
Oh
that.
my
Yes.
God.
And he kept just shouting, like, they'd interview him on a red carpet, and he's like, I don't know if I'm going to die because I have to.
And then they
He got a
aired
song about
they
it.
aired the surgery on MTV.
Yeah.
That's right.
It was
yeah.
insane.
Insanely informative.
He's going out with
because he
Drew
was-
Barrymore. It's the weirdest thing.
Did he go out with like Jenny McCarthy as well, or am I dreaming of
I
that?
think
Yeah,
that-
wow, he
I-
was married to Drew Barrymore.
We went
for a
out
year.
to Monica Lewinsky. Remember he
He
brought
had
her
her
to
on the
Canada?
show and he like
Yeah.
was following
Yeah.
her around.
So good, man.
By
Fuck,
the-
he was
and
great.
also,
he is great.
Do you remember the Andy Milanakis show?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I
what a
do, yeah,
legend.
yeah.
Andy Milanakis. This is from Rizwan, not to be confused with Rizvan, who's the brains behind Dominance MMA. Hi, Eric. Maybe it is from him. How long is the contract for the partnership with Yahoo? Oh, no. Why does
Definitely
he want
him.
to know?
It's
Yeah.
definitely him.
I know you said you would not ask us to follow you to another channel again, but is there a possibility that the show stays on the AH YouTube channel, but the partnership changes in the future? Yes. If you must know, it's a 3-year deal that concludes in August of 2027. But I will assure you of this, we ain't going anywhere else. So the partnership can come and go, but it's here for life. I'm not moving. Okay? I'm not moving. I'm not leaving. That's it. I built enough YouTube channels in my day, all right? Enough. Right?
Damn right.
Yeah.
Amen.
Why the laughing, Pete?
Yeah, why the laughing?
I was just laughing at everyone going, yeah. like school children.
He gets tickled.
A lot of
Yeah.
okay, just going through almost here at the bottom. Oh, Ali Fraser, hi Ariel and crew. Being from Scotland, I love seeing a light being shown on the Scottish with Joe Hendry being on Monday's show. Have any of you ever visited? And who other Scotsman women would you like to have on the show? I mean, the legend is Joanne Wood. Ah, there we are. Yeah. I've never been to Scotland. I would love to go to Scotland.
Oh, it's great. Great place. Been there for, I know a lot of fighters from out there as well. Chris Bungard, be a lot of cover for many years. The bad guy, he's a legend. Paul Craig, all those boys from the Leather Podcast. Ross Cooper as well.
Have you been to Glasgow?
Yeah, I've
Nice
been to
place?
Glasgow many times. It just reminds me of Dublin. It's very like Dublin, but it is really nice as well. The last time I was there, I was actually doing a video with Paul Craig throwing axes. Do you know that kind of game they play with the wood and they throw the axes?
Oh,
at
yeah.
it?
Axe throwing.
We did that. Yeah, Ross Cooper
what it's
there as
called?
well.
Yeah, I think it's called Axe
Yeah.
throwing.
But yeah, Lovely, lovely place. I want to go to Edinburgh. I want to go to the Fringe. Never have done that. Would really like to do that, but so expensive
no joke.
now.
Like, yeah, how hard is it to get over there?
It's $4,000 to like stay for a week of the Fringe, and then you're going to be obviously out every night at the Fringe and stuff. So it's very expensive. I don't know if you could stay in a nearby town and go or whatever, but I'd love to do it someday.
Okay, last one from the Substack, and then we'll finish off with the Super Chats. P the G. With the UFC rights deal set to be set to be a big talking point throughout the year, I'm curious, purely viewing yourselves as fans of the UFC rather than working in the space, what would each of your personal preferences be for where the UFC ultimately ends up? As a UK fan and seeing how the WWE Netflix partnership has shaken out, how accessible all the content is, I would love for the UFC to end up on Netflix. Love to hear your thoughts. Yeah, here's the thing. Don't forget, the UFC deal with TNT Sports in the UK and Ireland isn't up this year. So it's just the ESPN deal that's up this year. And maybe some smaller territories. So it wouldn't be as clean and seamless as the WWE deal, which essentially every territory saw it move over to Netflix except for the United States. It's just Raw. The other countries have Raw, SmackDown, NXT, and the PLEs. I can see it. My prediction is, for the first time ever, it will be cut up. And so I could see the pay-per-views staying on Plus. I could see like UFC 311 maybe being on Plus and ESPN leading to the Plus pay-per-view, but then, UFC Seattle would be on a Netflix or an Amazon. I would be very surprised in the year 2026, because that's when it would begin, I would be surprised if it's all under one umbrella. Could it end that way? Yeah, absolutely. But I think they see how splitting it up has helped the NBA with their new deal, Amazon, NBC, ESPN, ABC, how it's helped the NFL, how it helped the NHL. NHL went from NBC only to ESPN and TNT. Major League Baseball is on TBS, it's on Fox, it's on ESPN. They view themselves in that light, and even if you just look at WWE, they broke it up, right? They put in America, they put SmackDown on USA, they put Raw on Netflix, they put the pay-per-views, at least for now, on Peacock, and NXT is on CW. They're going to do something like that. So prepare yourself for that. But the biggest question, I think, for people is, where do the pay-per-views end up? I don't think we are going to live in a world where the pay-per-views are all on one place in front of a paywall, meaning, if you're a Netflix subscriber, you're going to get these fights, or if you're a Peacock subscriber, you're going to get these fights. I still think they're the last ones left, and they've earned that right, and it's still a very profitable business. People want to watch UFC 312 because they are fans of DDP or Strickland or Zhang or Tatiana, or because they know that the UFC pay-per-view product is something worth paying for. They've been programmed. We're not at the point where everything needs to be in front of a paywall. And I mean, like, so that you don't pay extra for it. But that does go back to our superstar discussion, because at some point, if you don't build stars, it's going to be a problem. But for now, the credibility and the reputation attached to those UFC numbered shows is so great that we're still in an era. We used to be in an era where it was like, do you want to come over and watch UFC? And it's yes, unequivocally, because it was on 6 times a year. And then it did get to a point where it was like, well, who's on? Oh, I'm going to skip this one. I'll wait for next week when it's free. And that's still somewhat of a thing. But I'm seeing it with my nephews. There's a numbered show. They're watching it. And they in particular like to go to the theater and watch it. And that's a big thing for kids. And I can imagine it's a fantastic time. You're in a theater. There aren't that many people, and you're watching fights on a big screen for 3 hours, and you can go crazy. It sounds like a great time if you're in the 11th grade or 12th grade, 10th grade. So I still think those numbers are huge, and I think they're gonna make billions of dollars off this year. That's my prediction as far as how it's gonna get cut up. And here's my other prediction: the fighters are gonna get 0% of that money. As crazy as
calm down.
As crazy as it sounds. And even if you don't even want to go into the revenue sharing perspective of it all, like, I don't even think anything goes up. Like, wouldn't it make sense if the price tag attached to the TV deal will be in the billions, right? The multiple billions, the tens of billions, if not the hundreds. I don't know if it gets to that point, but at the very least, the bonuses go up to 100,000. The bonuses
or the entry fee, right? Or the entry, like the entry.
It's 20
money.
and 20 as opposed to 10 and 10 at its minimum. But I don't see that happening. Frank, let's go to some super chats before we go.
All right. Well, Mason Bickner writes, instead of a face-off, call it nose to nose.
That's not bad.
That's good.
That's not bad.
Jake from Windy City writes, new fan of Euro football. I love these clubs were built by the working class and the concept of promotion relegation. Could that work in the North America?
This has been discussed. I think it could only work with the MLS, Major League Soccer, not the MLS, just MLS, because they have the USL. But ultimately, there's so much money attached. Like, what? So the Browns are going to go where? To the UFL? It's just never going to happen. This is something that needed to be in place many, many moons ago. Are the Hornets going to go to the G League, and the Westchester Knicks are going to come up? No. My dream, MLS does have a tournament where the MLS teams play the USL teams and all that, sort of like the FA Cup or the Carabao Cup. I would love to see something like that with the NBA, but it would probably be, very one-sided. Maybe it's something with the EuroLeague teams. The closest that we're probably going to get to it is All-Star Weekend, where now it's 8-8-8 and then 8 G League guys. I didn't understand the whole All-Star Weekend thing where they announce the starters and the reserves, but there's 3 teams of 8, so there's going to be way more starters, if I understand correctly, than the ones that they announced. It's all very confusing. But anyway, that's a different topic for a different day. I love it. I love it about, I love that they have this in European football in particular, but I don't see it being adapted into North American sports.
It's built. The game was built like that.
Yeah.
In Europe, the grassroots was built with these leagues, and then an elevation of leagues as more teams joined the football associations in the various countries. So it's just built a different way than sport in North America.
Yeah, it would be hard to institute it now. Like, which owner would agree to this, and how would a commissioner?
We'll get relegated, sure.
Right. They're just built different. Like, there's no commissioner of the Premier League. It just doesn't work that way. So. What else?
Mason comes back with, is Sean Strickland the middleweight Colby?
Sean Strickland, you mean?
Yeah.
Obviously.
Excuse me there. Sean Strickland.
And by the way, is he talking about him from a personality standpoint?
Yeah, it has to be.
Yeah. I don't know. I
they
never
feel quite different to me. And I've always made the distinction. Colby feels like somebody really badly playing a character, and I don't think Sean Strickland is playing a character at all.
I think
he's
Strickland
trolling.
I think he is that guy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I don't even know if he's trolling. I really think Strickland just relishes the idea of being this guy, this truth teller. He loves it. He loves the attention. It's why he shows up with
he outrages people, right?
Yeah,
he's like, oh,
shows up
they
with the
can't believe what I
handlebar.
just said.
But he likes that. He likes pressing the buttons. If he just did it to himself, it wouldn't be entertaining. He wants to press your buttons.
And yes, I don't think he's playing a character. Right?
And you do for Colby, no? I do.
To a degree, yes, but Colby has become the character. Colby doesn't know the difference between the two anymore. I think at first he realized, I need to get people to like me. I need to get people to care about me. Let's just keep it at that. And I think he has become the character, in my opinion. What else?
John Tens writes, any Pitbull Pico to the UFC news? Thanks.
At the moment, no. I haven't checked in on Pitbull in a minute, I will be honest. But at the moment, no. I hope it works out for him. I honestly do. I hope it works out for him. And I hope it... I would like to see... where else is Pico going to go at this point as well?
Protect your neck.
Whoa. No, stop it. They have enough guys.
Robert...
sorry. No, go ahead.
Robert McAllister... What fighter would you like to see main event in the next year or two purely for Fight Feast reasons? I'd like Chris Duncan and Scottish.
I guess.
This sounds like a GC question.
I don't know, man. I was really hoping for a Jairzinho Rosenstruck main event. Get some Suriname food.
Oh, yeah.
That dream's dead now, unfortunately.
It's amazing. You talk about, New York City. I don't know why I preface it. Like, I don't know. We're not really talking about New York, but you couldn't do this type of show anywhere else.
No,
right?
absolutely not. I tried to do a couple in Atlanta, and there was absolutely nothing for me. I wanted to do like Czech food for Yuri.
Doesn't even exist.
Doesn't exist there. And then I was like, I wonder if there's any places in New York. There was like 4 different Czech restaurants. It would have been pick of the litter. Yeah, I mean, the craziest part about this city is you can get any cuisine, and it will be quality when you go and get it.
So good.
For phase 1, but then when it's phase 2, phase 3, when we send you Anthony Bourdain style and you're just like in people's hometowns eating the food with them.
Oh, it's going to be great. Wait, speaking of Anthony Bourdain, wait till tomorrow. I mean, the review.
Oh, what do we got?
Rick,
what do we got?
absolutely.
What do we got?
Australian food.
Ooh.
Not as good as the Philly one, I will say. It was a little darker in the restaurant. It was louder, the production, it's still good though. We tried some very exotic dishes, I would say. And Rick dropped the review of the century on one.
Kangaroo steak?
You nailed
You
it.
gotta wait and see. Oh, okay.
You nailed it.
GC wasn't gonna. Frank wasn't gonna give it away. And yeah, whatever.
Benjamin Turk writes, who would you compare your own fighting style to anyone in MMA? Also, thanks, Ariel, for standing on what you believe.
Oh, I appreciate that. My own fighting style. It's a good question, and I'm happy that you asked it. Have there been, comparisons made to a prime Arturo Gatti? And I don't know if it's because of like my sort of like, killer be killed style, or just because we come from the same place. My trainer Chris, when he saw you, he has been. Can I just be honest with you guys? I don't know if he's gassing me up, but he has said that in all his years of training anyone, he has never seen a left hook like this one. And I say, look, are we talking Semtex left hook? Are we talking Ryan Garcia left hook? Like, what are we talking? Like, what are you talking about here? And he's just, one time, no joke, hit him so hard, the mitt came off.
Okay,
and
he says you have to repeat with the same inflection that he says this to you.
And I know this, listen, I'm aware, I look at this, and I know this doesn't look impressive. Like, the shape.
Put it down. You're frightening people.
This doesn't look impressive. I get that. I understand it. But let me tell you something. When I walk in there, hood on, Sanibel gloves on, wraps, I think my title wraps, Sanibel gloves on, people are afraid. And like, I tell Susie, the 55-year-old soccer mom, to get out of my way because there's going to be trouble.
You want to catch these hands, Susie?
Oh, well, because it's in an open spot, so it's, I'm not
a lot of space to
So I'm
wander.
like, listen, Beth, move out of the way, okay? Because you don't want to catch these hands. And
Hood up, music in.
I got my
your one AirPod.
I got my Josh Allen, Danny Rick beats right here,
Do you have them on over the hood so you're just completely immersed?
and I'm listening to dun 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 dun. Oh, or that, yeah. I got this.
I
and I'm
also
just
can
like,
just see the old women in there, just throwing some shots, and you're in there.
oh, that's 1,000%.
Right to the
That's
face.
1,000%. And then let me tell you something. We do like 4 or 5 rounds every Friday, and then we go to the heavy bag, and I have nothing. He's like, okay, 1 minute we do 1 minute of hooks and uppercuts, then 1 minute of just rights, like just straight jab and rights, and then 1 minute of hooks and uppercuts, and then 1 minute freestyle. By the end of those 3 minutes, I mean, I've never been more tired. But then I always finish it off with a little knee and a little elbow. I'm not a Muay Thai guy. I'm not a kickboxing guy. I like the street signs. I like Queensberry rules. Like that's just me. But I'll just say the left hook is the one everyone's talking about right now.
How long has he been training for?
Who, me?
No, him.
Oh,
That sounds like
So
a
good.
my
I don't know if
guy.
that was the drop or not.
No, my guy's pretty well known in the game. I'll just leave it at that.
Speaking
Chris
of
Eubank.
well known, Cole B writes again.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Do you think UFC invitationals will get more love than TKO boxing in 2025? Would people tune in more if they got vets to compete in these BJJ events?
When's the first event happening? I feel like they made a whole thing about Musamechi, and not much else.
Sounds like they won't get more love than
Yeah.
TKO boxing in 2025.
TKO boxing is going to be a really interesting one. I saw Mike Coppinger report something regarding the league in the fall, and then I saw Mauricio Suleiman say, no, this didn't really happen. I mean, I feel like it's inevitable at some point. that TKO is going to get into the boxing game. To what degree? Who's going to be involved? It's one of the stories to watch in 2025, I believe it is. And I do believe, by the way, this is my prediction. Note this one down. A lot of people ask me about Max Kellerman, the great boxing announcer. My prediction is whenever this new league starts up again, Kellerman will be a part of it. I don't mean a part of it as far as like a promoter, but that will be his reemergence. Long-standing relationship with Nick. Nick Khan represented him for many years. I've never asked him this question, but a lot of people ask me about where he is, what happened to him, what do you think about? You know, he parted ways with ESPN. They had to pay out his contract. He chose to just kind of sail off into the sunset, at least for now. I say he reemerges whenever this comes to fruition. What else?
Moderator Olajuwon Dream
Oh.
wants to remind us, Trailer Park Boys,
Oh,
greatest
yeah.
Canadian TV show made.
The Hush Driveway.
Can I be honest?
Never seen it?
Never seen it. Well aware of it. I was more of a this hour has 22 minutes kind of guy.
You know.
No.
I was more of a Peep Show guy.
Peep
Peep
Show's
Show's
fantastic.
amazing.
More of a-
Golly, freaking love Peep Show. So good. Highly, highly recommend. By the way, how is Olajuwon Dream doing as a moderator, Frank?
I would prefer not to say that on air.
Wow.
I've had the sidebar a few times. He's just not doing the band quotas. Like I told him, at least 30
Ah.
people a day, and he.
Yeah.
How? By the way, is it Olajuwon and who? Who's the other one? Are there two?
There are two.
And you don't remember the other one clearly. Brandon. Okay. Yeah. Shout out. What else? Well, thank
And
you guys. By the way, we appreciate
finish it
you.
up with. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I say we appreciate them, and I think you chose two incredible candidates to be leading
They're
the
OGs.
charge. Yeah, they're OGs. I trust them implicitly.
Alec in the Slice sends us home by asking, any updates on UFC Chicago, Fight Night, or pay-per-view?
No, I got nothing. Well, I mean, I think that a lot of people think they're going to Montreal in May. The question is, does June become a international fight week month as opposed to July? I did see Jake Paul tweet something July 5th. Did you guys see that? What's that about?
What is that about, man?
I have no idea.
Canelo?
Oh, the big Canelo fight. You into that one, PT?
Yeah, fuck it, sure. Yeah, why not?
Yeah. You think he got a chance?
No.
No.
Canelo.
Yeah, does Canelo have a chance?
Just expecting Rick's head to explode over there.
Great.
What the
That was
fuck?
great.
He actually perked up. He was typing an email.
I was typing something and then I heard this bullshit and I just
He
popped my head
got
up.
whiplash.
Ade said it best. Shout out to Ariel and Ade. Great
Yeah.
show. You can watch it on DAZN or on the DAZN Boxing YouTube. Jake Paul doesn't last a round if Canelo takes this seriously. Not even one round.
Not even one singular round. Not even 3 minutes.
If Canelo wants to beat him in the first round, it will happen. There is nothing he can do about that.
Feeling out process.
Well,
Well,
let
then,
me said for the feeling out. You
then
know what I mean?
he-
Mayweather McGregor style.
yeah, I mean, there's a carrying element. But no, if he decides he wants to stop him in the first round, he will stop him in the first round. But maybe people will feel like they didn't get their money's worth. I'm very fascinated if a Canelo-Jake Paul fight is actually made. If Canelo's approach is, I'm going to starch him as early as humanly possible so that I can show that there are levels to this boxing game and I'm representing for boxing. Or if he goes, I'm going to have some fun with this guy who can't do anything to me and I don't give a shit. And then he finally decides to put him out of his misery. I'm very interested in how he kind of approaches it.
I think Canelo could be the option one guy as well.
I hope
when
so.
he gets fired up, he is fucking fired up.
Do you
I
think
feel like
Jake will
Jake
get
will
under his
fire him up.
skin?
Yeah, I think he will. I think he will. He'll do a bunch of promos and.
All
talk a
right,
bunch of
Rick's
shit.
just sold it to me. I can't fucking wait for the fight.
All right, July 5th, New York, New York. That's what Jake Paul's tweet says.
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
know what he's talking about, but I'll be there.
By the way,
I'll
speaking
get
of the
the
Ariel and Ade show, you can watch it right now on the DAZN Boxing YouTube channel. We had a great chat. I was feeling myself. I had a tremendous jumper that was produced by my brother. Yeah, my brother's company, 20. Actually, my brother just texted me, in case you're wondering, if you want to be as cool as I am while I wear that thing, that he's having a massive 85% off sale. If you go to 260samplesale.com, you too can look as cool as I did on the program yesterday. So that's 260samplesale.com, 85% off. This is a once-in-a-lifetime deal.
He's
20.
got some great tracksuits as well. Like I've seen the tracksuits.
Can we get? Can you get one and maybe save it for next year?
Well, I already thought I've retired the concept.
Oh, really?
Mm.
Why? Because of the chick filler?
There's only so many people, so many things you can do. You know what I mean?
When you've perfected the form the way Pizzi has, like what more is there left to do?
I'm still waiting for him to pull off this shirt, and he's got a tracksuit underneath it because he does that.
By the way, I also just got an email saying that my kid's school is closed tomorrow because of a snowstorm. Did you guys hear about this?
Gotta respect the snow day.
All right, Boys in the Back is canceled.
Is it canceled?
Boys in the snow.
Yeah, we just got the snow alert.
Damn, they are going to be over the moon.
The guy who runs the channel, is it canceled?
Well, I don't know. Yeah, thanks for. I mean, you guys don't tell me shit about shit. I mean, I just watched their.
Yeah, we're not doing it. We're just
no.
not
I mean,
going.
do we have a contingency plan?
Oh,
yeah, it's called We
For
Do
what?
the Show.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We doing it
Snow?
from home?
Like, what are we talking about here? We'll be here. We will be here no matter what.
Wow. I mean, listen. I don't want to be.
Crack the whip like that.
I don't want to. Who, me?
No, me.
Oh.
Wow, is that our third Who Me?
Jesus, it's just like exactly like the fucking drop. It's crazy when he does that.
Shout out to ArielHelwani.com. Get your bottles now.
It's like Zeppelin playing Stairway to Heaven or something. You're like, yeah, he's doing it. He's doing it.
All right. Well, be safe. Be safe, guys. You know.
Yeah, we will, man. We'll try.
Far be it for me to. to ask
Hopefully, the
people.
old train stays on the tracks, figuratively and literally.
I didn't realize there was any inclement weather. I do have to
I
say.
heard blizzard get thrown around once or twice on the Weather Channel this morning. Well,
They tend to. I think they tend to pull the trigger on these way too fast. I mean, in my day, 15
Is this about to be
inches,
I walked a mile in the snow?
1,000%.
Here we go.
Jesus
Back
Christ.
We
in
had
my
no
day.
shoelaces.
Holy
I tied my
Back
toes
in
together.
my day. We're gonna look it up, and back in '89, Montreal had the most cancellations in history.
Never. My favorite. So it was. My kids have had more school cancellations in the last year from snowstorms than I had in my entire life as a student in Montreal.
I'm going to confirm. Same for me.
Fact.
Same for me.
Fact. And one particular year, I was in high school. I was in 10th grade. I did not study for my test the next day. I don't know why. I was a pretty good student, but I wasn't feeling it. And I was on the phone with my current wife. What
Your
time
current
was it?
wife?
Did you have a former wife?
I wanted to say like my then future wife. I don't know.
Yeah.
It didn't come out right. And
current
she said that she was going to put out into the ether that there was no talk of a snowstorm, no talk of school closure. She was going to put out there in the middle of the night that there was going to be a snowstorm. And I was like, this is my only hope. I swear I woke up to a snowstorm and school was canceled.
This is like the Izzy I manifested this meme.
This
she
is
just
it.
created.
It's like that Simpsons episode from way back in the day. Do you remember that one?
No.
There's a Simpsons episode early on where there's where Bart
Snow
didn't
day,
study,
yeah.
and then there's a snowstorm, and then he has to take the test later on. That was me. I mean, it was a charmed life. I'm not gonna lie.
Or else your wife is in the X-Men and she's just not telling you.
Yeah.
She was Storm. Would it be Storm?
Yes.
No, or
Yes,
Storm.
it would.
Storm.
Yeah. There it is. Gentlemen, a great day. Looking forward to tomorrow. Much more on UFC 312, Fight Feast, and then, of course, the crack on Friday to take you into the pay-per-view post-show as well. So don't forget about all of that. Watch Party 2. So much more to come for now, though. Back tomorrow. Peace. I'm out of here.